we're just gonna push through one last session of Police Navidad. Usual disclaimer. This is a American-based cop brain run of Disco Elysium, so it's been pretty fashy. Although I've at least tried to make it a little bit social to try and ingratiate himself with the locals. But yeah, this Harry sucks. Luckily the game has been spitting on every fascist attempt and thought we've had, which is great, but just a heads up. Alright, but yeah, it's also the tail end of the game, so if you're coming in right in the middle of this, you missed a bunch. Alright, rusty chain follow the trails off into the ocean. Sorry, I missed the other read there.
Trails off into the ocean, connecting the island to the supply depot on the coast.
It leads to the depot in Land's End.
Ah, yes, so it seems.
What do you think it was used for?
For bringing munitions to the island, maybe? And supplies?
There we go!
The bay
Got
when
him!
you raise the chain.
Thank you for the follow, Flexi.
As a defensive measure, locking off that side of the bay.
Don't do that. Alright, that's me locking off the bay from weird follow bots. Okay, lock it off from whom?
From enemies. Enemies of the commune of Revachol. This sea fort was a revolutionary fortification, I believe.
Huh. Tires are falling apart. They're at least 50 years old. Seems like there's something I probably gotta do on break. So fuel's leaked out of the barrel. Black. Viscous. Attention, inflammable. Nope. Back it up.
The dry grass crackles under your feet as you stop. Far away, birds' wings touch the still surface of the sea.
What does that flutter?
The flock of quail departs. Now more than 100 meters away, 102, 105.
Underneath the flutter.
On the islet, there is almost no wind under the rain quietly falling on the reeds. Bulrushes swaying on the waterline, long dried leaves chafing against each other. The soft raindrops, like a silent orchestra tuning at the beginning of some major work. Of great importance to the few who attend.
To the west.
A silent hiss, sea air moving through the needles of a pine tree.
To the east.
The faraway roar of the city, distant like today's dream. Before it, the sound of sand, the low tide.
What is the sound of sand?
A bird tending to its
Never really thought about that.
Raindrops fall on water, strangely quiet, forming circles in the distance.
Ahead?
A low hum. The air slowly moves through a concrete box, through its ancient slits and cracks, resonating, hollow. A big building.
Beyond that, further north.
Air flows out of a pillbox window. There is very little there. The air cossets flowers on a meadow. Absolute silence. Reeds motionless. Bulrushes motionless. A drop of rain falls on a black log of an extinguished campfire.
Below the silence?
Col de Mamadakwa.
There it is again. Kim.
Yes?
This is where...
We didn't follow up on the Cold of Mama Doc with stuff earlier, though, so...
About the pain shooting up his right leg and into his groin. Not you. You're concentrated on how.
It's really fucking silent on this island.
It is. Is that why we are stopping?
Mm-hmm. Wait, I have to listen to one more thing.
The lieutenant nods in silence.
Oh no, we're good. That's just the step back. Alright. I should probably be wiggling. Let me go back and wiggle the stick in case of non-orb interactables. So far, so good. What's the... Okay, in-game time is 11 a.m. Alright, we got plenty of time. Carol says, I see him. You see a star with little specks in it. You recognize this little birch from the coin-operated viewer. The way to get up there? Stairs are gone. What's tootin'? Oh, that's right. We're upstairs. Okay. Careful. These stairs have collapsed. Books, mostly fantastique and historical fiction. Dishes stained with sauce and fire. A survivor's kitchen. Oh, we never bought the fallen shoes, but... Oh, no, we did. Okay. See candles plant on a broken range fire. I already had the achievement anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Moth-bitten bedsheet keeps the wind out.
Books and magazines lie scattered on the floor and on a makeshift cupboard. They are not particularly well organized. Most
Let's have a little sift.
serialized fantastique and detective stories from the 20s and 30s. This disparate digest includes the classic Animal Adventures. Among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories, you find a magazine cathodique for electrical engineering. Then it's back to pulp. Light erotica, an international thriller about circuit benders.
Neat.
Someone's made themselves a home.
Lieutenant inspects the softcover. Oh, apparently being arranged by commies gets me a bonus on this. Does anything stand out as unusual?
Oh yes, under the bed.
How did we make that? We've been getting some sick rolls the past couple sessions.
That is dour, life non-affirming left-wing literature published by small imprints such as Abattoir Firm and Ouzia. It's not exactly light reading.
Look, Kim, downbeat dribble for the people who can't get shit done.
Ouzia. I agree. Humanitarian sciences. It stands out. Not a lot of critical theory around in Ravachol West.
Wasn't there some in the communist students' room?
Well, the student in the apartment building seemed to have some as well.
Well, yes. That one student did.
The little books seem inconsequential next to the big pile of frivolous entertainment covering them.
Critical theory books. What do you think this means?
Whoever has lived here, they have some education and a certain set of interests.
Okay. The scarf might actually look good with the outfit. Oh, hell yeah. I had to kind of hide the armor queer ass. Not that it really matters at this point. Great blaster must weigh over 10 tons. Rust peels off of it.
You see a small metal door nested inside a larger one. A heavy steel blast door. There is a conventional keyhole above the handle. It's very small.
What's on the other side?
Another part of the island, probably. The lock looks like it could still be usable.
Lieutenant looks into the keyhole. How do we open this?
Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open?
He looks at the door, then its bigger brother, and then at the lock.
He's right. It would be better to open its big brother. A powerful engine hangs under the ceiling. It must control the blast door.
You're right, we opened the big one. Do you see controls anywhere?
I think there's a console just southeast. Let's look around. Getting the blast door open seems like the best plan.
He shuffles his feet to stay warm. Oh, I don't remember there being anything to pry bar open here, but we might as well. Oh, that's the way we came in. Never mind. I never picked up on the big Krasmazov portrait either. Up there on the wall. This was once an armament rest. Oh. Twin cannons were attached here. Medium distance, large caliber.
An old cylindrical generator is nested above the ammo lift, with makeshift electrical wiring running out of its side and across the floor. The cables disappear into the wall to your right. The lieutenant puts his hand on the metal barrel, checking for warmth.
It's cold now, but someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Where do these wires lead?
Downstairs, somewhere?
What kind of generator is this?
Liquid carbon. I would imagine it takes mazout.
He points to the open fuel cap on the side of the dynamo.
The kind that's favored by vagrants and fuel thieves.
That's the stuff outside, yeah, okay.
Long and cold.
If anyone stayed here, they'd need a generator.
Knock, knock.
A hollow ring. The canister is empty. Dust falls from the generator and down into the ammo lift.
What does this mean? A generator here?
I don't know. I'm not a philosopher.
Impossible. I meant, why is it here?
Someone with basic electrical skills has restored it in order to keep the room warm. Maybe it's the fire guy.
The wind outside picks up suddenly, with a faint howl. Inside, it's warm.
Fair enough.
There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner, resting on piles of soft cover books. White linen and a pillow are visible under a worn-out caracal blanket.
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh, recently washed.
How recently?
You force the rest of the sentence out through pain, thick as molasses, no longer able to hear yourself speak.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead.
Let's take a nap.
You face the concrete wall. There's less light there, in the dark corner. Like a dog, you lie there.
Curl up with your knees close to your chest.
The blanket feels cold. The entire room does. Concrete and cold. Minutes pass. Half an hour maybe. The sounds of the sea beyond grow distant. Your eyelids close. Until
Until?
you feel yourself standing up in the darkness, right next to the mattress. Slowly, the world begins to hatch from the blackness. It's evening. Sleep.
Just realized we haven't manually saved, in a minute. Alright, well, the interactables that were interactable aren't interactable anymore. Lieutenant's no longer here. Go outside to the beach. Door's still here, closed. Feels strange somehow. Can't get in. Oh, you can't even get into my inventory to put that thing away, so... Oh, wait. Go up and then down and then around, and then you can go through the other side. I think that's how it works. Yeah, okay. the chain. There's something there. Walk into the water. No. Oh, there's the chain. Okay. At least we're still earning experience. Alright, time for sad times, and Harry's probably gonna be an asshole about his past, but... You see your footprints on the water. Where are they?
Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism. International.
Yeah, we didn't do a lot with the stained glass window with this Harry, so...
Turns around to face you. She has an issue.
Less context this time.
And she seems to be in a hurry. Okay, don't say you need to talk right away. Melt the ice first. This way you're already talking. But you don't even want to talk to her. She would only be cold and mean. Let her go.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, that's all I get?
I
Smile.
mean, hey to you too?
She says apprehensively. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, actually. Both professionally and romantically. I've come to a fulfilling and peaceful period in my life. Well, how are you doing, Harry?
Dying in a ruined flak tower. Blood is dripping down my chest.
God, Harry.
She shakes her head, her eyebrows knitting together with worry.
You have to take care of yourself. You're not a young man anymore. If you keep going like this, you'll...
Reminders that I don't listen to.
Is gearing up.
Huh? Something's off.
I'm sorry. I was heading to the aerodrome. I just don't have time to...
She stops mid-sentence, glances to her right, then looks at her bag.
She means she doesn't have time to tend to your emotions.
You don't have time to tend to my emotions?
She sighs and looks over her shoulder. What are you doing? Stop saying things like that.
Alright. Where are you going?
I'm going to Morova. To live there, in Grad. It's 1 million kilometers away, Harry. Might as well be another lifetime.
What's in the bag?
Just my scepter, my globe cruciger, a spare silk gown, a toothbrush, travel documents, the crown of immortality.
Crown of immortality. Aren't you already wearing one?
Oh, this.
She corrects the wreath on her forehead.
This is just a wreath. The crown of immortality is made of rarefied light, mana and raw palladium. It was passed on to me by the rulers of late antiquity.
She looks at the suitcase, not knowing what more to say. Then, over her
I
shoulder,
wonder if they ever explain rarefied light.
silence. Her
Honestly, it's kind of cooler if they don't.
flows in the wind.
Anyway,
Skin's holy and soft.
no, Harry. It's just regular skin. I'm not as beautiful as you always thought I was. Let's not get into it.
You are. None of the others are as beautiful as you.
She does not answer. There's that expression again. Silence. A distant wind blows. You can't think of anything pretty to say.
Can you stay for a moment? We need to talk. Need to have one more massive epic showdown.
No, Harry. No. I don't want a massive epic showdown. I want to go to the aerodrome. I have tickets for the 10:20 flight to Morova. Really, we don't have anything to talk about anymore. Every combination of words has been played out. The atoms don't form us anymore. Us, our love, our unborn daughters, it's all gone. I have to go to the aerodrome. I have to leave Revachol and you. And you have to be alone. In hell. Forever. That's just the way it is.
Oh God, whatever you do, don't try to kiss her yet. Not after that. You're still reeling. You'll fall over if you try it now.
Huh? I've become an unbreakable kingsman.
Good. That's very nice.
She doesn't sound appropriately impressed. Alright, look at my face. Can you not see how hard I am?
Harry, it doesn't look like you're hard at all. It looks like you fell apart without me. I can't bear to look at it anymore, okay? I feel guilty. That's what I feel when I look at you. Please let me go.
It's breaking. You feel fractures across you. Out of the cracks comes nothing at all. No king, no man, and no king's man. The cracks were all there ever was. We are a spider web of glass that's painful to look at. And she's turning her head.
But you said I had a vast soul and you'll always come back to it.
We both said a lot of things. We were very young.
It was her. I can feel it. I can see it in her tender, long fingers, in her wrists. Her hand wrote it, said those things.
I'm afraid if we actually finished the letter. Actually, you didn't say it. You wrote it in a letter, a handwritten letter. I kept it in my paperwork.
As Queen Regnant, I write a lot of letters.
She brushes this strand of hair, or white hair, out of her eye. I have it right here. Let me refresh your memory. Let's take a trip down memory lane.
Harry, I just don't have time for this.
Alright. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest down Voyager Road. Step I take, it grows until... Oh, this is us going through the letter. Alright, until by the time I reach the fuel station, it's filled me completely. I step on the light rail and look back. Something, something, bow collector. It'll be like this until I walk back to you. You every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes you run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul and will always come back to it.
Okay, stop. Yes. Are you happy now?
Alright. No, I'm not happy.
Then why are you doing this?
There's more. Kisses, kisses, kisses.
Very well. I wrote it. It was morning. You slept. There was hoarfrost on the ground when I left. On Voyager Road. It was autumn. The first autumn. But Harry, please understand. It was 1,000,000 years ago. It was 100 million years ago. I was someone else then. Filled to the brim with love for you. Hanging on your every word. Oh, Harry, you were the coolest. But I am no longer that person. This has taken her place. It will devour you. Harry, I will eat your mind.
Yum.
The light of the video rental shines through her dress now. A DeLorean figure, cut in black, moves below. It's still her. Her legs, her breasts, her hips.
Did you turn back to the person you were? I can see her in you, under the gown and that wreath.
And my crown of immortality. No. You scared her out of me. With your crying, the awful time we wound up having. And the cheap rental flats you could afford. Can't you see? I can never think you're cool again. I can only think that way about new people.
You're a better man now, with a rank in a powerful armed organization.
I'm getting a nice place this time. I can provide for you. I was young and weak then.
No, it's too late. I found someone for whom I feel the same love I did for you. Only this time,
Oof.
he is more careful. He will not lose me. It will go somewhere. It will grow.
Your heart burns. Through the blackness, you feel the trickle of blood on the mattress below you.
Harry, do you notice how none of this is very funny?
Yeah, you're the least funny part about me.
I hate being that. I don't want to be anything for you. I hope the decades it takes for you to get over me have already passed.
I was cool.
The coolest. With your leather jacket and your boot-cut pants. Smoking in the bus stop. I wanted you to be the rest of my life that day. And you were. Some of it, at least. You were my first. My first kiss. My first time to have sex. The first and worst time I fell in love. I will always have that with me. It's a fact. But that is all it is. It's like a ticket stub, Harry. It doesn't do anything anymore.
Ticket stub.
Yes, let's talk about that too. Let's bring it up, the zoo. In Le Jardin, the day we went east of the river, to the aquarium first, I was sad about my mother. I don't even know why. The shimmer of the fish tank on my face, the octopuses. It was just a day then, but to think, were we there now, you could touch my hair, kiss me, talk to me about anything, go virtually anywhere in the world. Not like now. Now our interactions are limited to pain and regret.
Voyager Road. I know that place. Where is it?
It's here, Harry. We are on Voyager Road. At the end of it, 300 meters from the stop. We used to come here to rent videos.
The house.
There. You could not pay the electrical bill. It became a lightless tomb. The years you spent training for the militia, my parents' money, it was not good.
What now? What happens now? What's the next thing we talk about?
Is there really anything left? If not, we can always repeat one of the things we have already talked about. Talk about it again. If you do not feel like doing that, you should let me go to the aerodrome.
Don't let her. Don't let her go there. You should redo the topics. Go over everything. The things you didn't say before, too. Make it go on and on.
Bought you this figurine of a headless fallen rider.
I don't want it. It looks expensive. I don't want it.
I thought you liked figurines. I thought the figurines were for getting you back.
That's not what figurines do, Harry.
But then the figurines don't do anything.
She looks at the headless found rider between your fingers and doesn't know what to say. The figurines don't do anything? Anything at all. But I thought the historic figure she had.
She liked war games and figurines?
I thought it would be good. A form of communication when words have failed. Yes, it was a good idea. But she felt obliged by the headless found rider to give you things in return. Things she no longer wants to give you. So she refused. That's how it goes. Your figurine rider idea was naive.
What about dice? I had some custom dice made in this place, a doomed commercial area.
Harry, I don't want things. I want to go to the aerodrome.
Okay, I won't give you things
I
then.
didn't ask for things. It's too late to give me anything. I would have liked the headless fallen rider back then.
I get the feeling you're not really Dolores Day.
I don't know what you mean. Dolores Day?
She looks at you quizzically. It does not seem like a mystery she wants to get into. You're the X something.
Wasn't I Dolores Day just a second ago?
Oh,
Now I'm the X thing? You're confusing me.
cough drops.
Look, I have to be at the Lausanne Aerodrome at 10:20 p.m. I still have a light rail to catch. I haven't even bought the tickets yet.
She keeps glancing over her shoulder nervously. I should have gone even deeper, to a place where I never met you, because it's impossible to meet people in the abyss of the void.
Great. It's the abyss of the void. Soon it will be the gloaming, then it will be the world ending. My friends are waiting for me on the platform, Harry. It's impolite to...
What?
You know what's impolite? Consigning a lieutenant detective of the Revachol Citizens Militia to eternal
I
damnation.
am impolite with you, Harry. Because you are the past. Me and those friends
Damn.
will have good times together in the future.
The evening wind blows in. The gown wraps around her like a white flag. She says,
This is how human beings operate.
I was wrong. You don't have power over her anymore. You shouldn't have said that. I am wrong about everything. You should go on without me.
heard you before. Hear the voice on the phone.
Oh, Harry, you shouldn't have done that.
She shakes her head very slowly, her white hair brushing her shoulders. Do what?
Call me like that.
You ruined it. There was still a chance. You should have waited longer. She would have called you instead.
I know. You would have called me yourself if I just let you. I was too impatient.
Oh, Harry.
Incorrect.
Do you really think so?
Incorrect,
We
Harry.
haven't talked in years. I don't want to call you. I don't want to hear from you. I think of you less and less every year. Weeks go by without me remembering you. Months already. Soon it will be years. Every season that passes, the light gets less clear. I sit there in Morova, in the holy gratitude of my bliss. I put my hand on my belly and smile.
The air gets cold around you. She looks down on her stomach, then up at you.
Then back at her stomach. Then back at you.
Full of tremendous distance and mystery. The death blow is coming. Black-eyed dogs wander the alleys. Apple trees hang their bony limbs low over the patchwork of roofs. Red and black. Revachol West, the evening sun. She's left and bloomed, far away from us, our vast soul.
You're the morning.
The morning? I don't understand.
No, I meant mourning. I'm grieving, but you're not even dead.
Oh my god, Harry, stop. I don't want to hear anything about the morning. Mourning someone who's still alive. Any of that. I can't do that anymore. I'm not 80 years old, I'm 32. People my age are not supposed to mourn.
I forget if we ever resolved whether that was a problematic age gap or if it's just she was 32 when they split up, and that's
It's
the
a bit much for me.
where the figment formed.
It feels like your ribs are cracking around your heart.
Good. I think I feel a heart attack coming.
Why are we doing this?
The advisor to the Queen of Serene, Serene, sighs and looks down at the crumbling asphalt. I don't know why I couldn't read that for a second. Well, I thought your Dolores Day, Queen reigning of the territories of Mundi and Insolinde, and nothing else.
Yes, Harry. I am. Things have gotten much better for me, now that I am the ruler of the known world. Oh god, it's already so late. I have to go, Harry.
She pulls up the silvery sleeve of her gown to check the time.
A tiny golden watch with red straps around her bony little wrists.
But that's not a very good way for things to be.
It's not. But
She looks at her feet. Little golden sandals cover her toes. That's it?
that's it, yes. We've talked about it a million times. You will get over it, just like I did. People do. Things will get good for you again.
I'm not getting over it at all.
It just takes some time. For you, I think it will take something like 20 years, maybe? It was hard for me too, you know? I used to think I couldn't live without you.
She looks you straight in the eye. Her irises are light blue, flecked with green.
But I can.
So you felt that way once, that you cannot live without me?
Yes. But that time is gone now. So very gone.
20 years, that's so much time.
Yes. It only took me 1 year, maybe 2. Phew.
She smiles and wipes her brow in relief. Huh? Doesn't have to be like this. Maybe we try again?
No, Harry. We can't.
Why?
We already tried again, and it didn't work.
Let's try to return Revachol to the likeness of the holy sun in the sky, but only twice. The third time, let's abandon it to debauch homosexuals.
Yes, of course. You're a Kingsman, and I'm a socialist traitor, because I don't want to keep hurting you.
She looks away from you. What went wrong when we tried it again? I can do it better.
I don't know. Please.
She shuffles from one golden sandalwood foot to the other. In the distance, a streetcar screeches. Why? Why can't we be together?
Harry, we can't be together because you're insane.
Her eyes turn to sorrowful ovals. That's 2 women who have pointed that out so far. Like, wow, that cop's crazy?
They're turning moist now. Her eyes. She slowly shakes her head and tries to get hold of herself, brushing her hands in her gown.
What do you mean by insane?
You know what I mean.
Everyone gets a little down.
A little down. You've worked there for so long, you can't even talk like a normal person anymore. It's always lists with you. Questions.
Don't get meta with me.
Questions? Did someone say questions?
They're not lists, they're
This
trees.
is another one, isn't it? We're in a tree.
Okay, this is pretty funny, actually. Lists are absolutely normal. Everyone has them. You just list everything you want to ask.
It's not just the lists or trees or whatever. You get sad, Harry. Too sad. People can't get that sad. It's impossible to watch.
She corrects the wreath on her head with her hands trembling now.
Other people get sad too, but not like you. You stay down for too long. And if you're not down, you're up, running around asking questions. Millions of questions.
So Harry needs to be medicated.
Conclusion,
Fair enough.
You're ill. You're an old, insane man. And you have to be in hell until the end of your life. And I have to go to Morova.
I know you still love me. I forget if that's non-succeedable or if we just fucked it up. I didn't roll it on the last Harry because I was trying to play him as not as shitty.
Your feet still tremble from the steps you took, as if over an
We
enormous
snake eyes that though. That's so nasty.
Her body close to you, radiating more. With your eyes closed, you move your lips on her mouth. She is not kissing you back.
Failed.
This was not about failure or success. This was always going to be horror. I should not have suggested it, and you should not have listened to me.
I feel her breath.
Her chest rising like a pillow, warm exhalations against the side of your mouth, her tender soul moving through her lungs.
Her cheek against mine.
Feels like soft fuzz, a bird covered in down feathers, brushing against your broken capillaries. The world's most precious material, reserved for those she lets close enough to feel it. You are stealing a touch. It's
No,
not
that's a
yours to take.
good fucking way to put it. Cold silver against my forehead.
A delicate wreath on her forehead, pressing into your temple. The silver is cold from the spring evening air.
Squeeze her wrist.
Her hand does not return the grip. Her body is rigid. A current of unease courses through it. Distrust. For you. The curve of her spine. Her shoulders hunched. She keeps herself stiff. Her center guarded from your motions. Unresponsive to your guidance.
Move your mouth.
Just pillows against you.
Weird.
Unresponsive, but for the taste of apricots.
You're not kissing me back.
The moment is ending. She is going to move
I'm
her
gonna deliver
face
that better, I'm
away
sorry.
from yours.
Get fucked, nerd. Weirdo.
Trying hard not to look at you. When she withdrew, and you held on to her hand. She tried not to look at your face and see the expression there. Brother, you should put me in front of a firing squad. I have no words for how I failed you.
You didn't kiss me back.
She breathes out heavily, as if something painful has passed through her, and shakes her head.
Stand there like a useless dildo. I thought you would. I know you still love me. You can't not.
She shakes her head one more time. The evening wind rustles her hair, blowing old newspapers and fast food wrappings down the street.
Why did you kiss me back?
Why did you do that to yourself? You know I don't cheat, Harry. I never cheated on you.
That's it then.
No, Harry. Not yet. There is one more thing you have to see.
Alright, she slides her hands down her chest and onto her lower stomach and smiles.
I'm pregnant.
Is it mine?
Of course not.
She looks down at her belly, then up at your old eyes.
I terminated yours. Don't you remember? You poor fuck. Poverty-stricken fuck. Now, go ahead.
Making it financial's a little mean, but...
Questions. Let's talk about something else.
Although this is all in his head, so it's probably a reflection of his own opinion of himself at the time.
No, this has to end. Do the last one. More questions. Ask more.
Mass murderer?
That is very contested by modern historians. Very contested.
She tramples her little feet for warmth and adds,
You're only saying this because things didn't work out between us. I have to go to the aerodrome now. I don't have time to defend myself from these accusations.
Stop making her angry. She won't start loving you again if you call her a mass murderer. Seriously.
Would you say you haven't behaved like a mass murderer with me?
You were very bad to me too. We've talked about it like 7 million times now. I don't want to do that anymore.
You're not even human.
I am actually very ordinary, Harry. Below this gown and wreath, I have an ordinary soul and ordinary thoughts. The only thing inhuman about me is this.
She looks around.
This thing you've made me into. I'm sorry for saying so, but I just hate it. What is this? This is so far gone, Harry. I don't even...
No, you're special. You had glowing lungs.
My lungs do not glow, Harry. I am just like all the others. None of us have glowing lungs. Stop making me into some kind of...
You're right. You don't have glowing lungs. You don't deserve them.
I didn't ask for them either. They're just a folk tale that has nothing to do with my reign, or the direction I have set our species on.
She glances over her shoulder, then back at you.
Couldn't make her lungs glow anyway. Only cry. And maybe not even that anymore. A warm gust wraps her gown around her waist and between her thighs. All the roads will miss her footsteps when she's gone from here.
I miss you so much.
It will pass. Everything does.
Don't go.
I have to, Harry. Really, I've already missed the 8:30. I'm gonna go now.
Fingers wrap around the bag handle.
I was wrong. You don't have power over her anymore. You shouldn't have said that. I am wrong about everything.
Oh, wrong voice file, but...
Gone without me.
Hey, what's up, Foot? What are we doing here? There we go. But I swore I wouldn't let you go. You told me. You asked me to be this way.
That was someone else.
That's kind of fucked
I
up.
betrayed her, overwrote her, and I'm happier for it. And I'm really going now. The time is up. I must be on the 10:20 flight.
We are, no.
Yes.
That's more for the Harry we're done. Will we ever see each other again?
I won't see you, but you will see me.
How can that be?
Oh, Harry. This is a dream. Can't you see? I'm already in Morova by now. Who knows how long ago this happened? A year? 2? 5 years ago?
How will I see you again, then?
Right here, tomorrow night. Once this dream starts happening, it keeps happening. 3 times a week, at least. And Harry, it really, really looks like it started happening again.
Great!
There's the video rental. I'm suffocatingly beautiful. And young. And I smell of tutti frutti chewing gum. Like I did that time when I asked you for forgiveness. After leaving you the first time. So long ago.
But this is intolerably bad.
Oh yes. This is real darkness. It's not death, or war, or child molestation. Real darkness has love for a face. The first death is in the heart, Harry.
This is one hell of a line.
See you tomorrow.
Oh, God. I don't know if I got a different combo platter to wrap up the conversation before, but god fucking damn it. It's blasting. Good morning.
You're up quick. How was your sleep?
Actually, it was total annihilation, Kim.
I did not want to wake you. Perhaps I should have? Was it a job dream?
No, an ex-wife dream.
The lieutenant nods solemnly. I understand. We've all been through similar things. It can be overcome.
Alright, my sleep was deep and invigorating. Try to cover blood seeping out of it with your hands.
I was just thinking maybe you've torn your stitches. Are you ready to move on?
Let's solve the fucking case.
Are you sure you're okay? You thrashed around and you bolted up, half covered in blood from your wound.
You did the badass thing.
Okay.
He replies simply.
He's still worried. You must have really thrashed and squealed in your sleep.
Fair enough. Is there anything else we can learn from the bed, or...?
The greasy old spring mat.
Nope.
Yes, anytime.
You don't have to be a hero.
Oh, and save post-stream. That morale loss doesn't seem to have carried over into the waking world. Unless I was full before we went to bed and I didn't realize it. Hatch is jammed shut. Oh, there's a control panel, okay.
Green paint flicks off the monoblock aluminium cabinet. There are rows of switches on the front panel, a frequency band, and even a keyboard.
What's this then?
The console of an anti-computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires coming out. They terminate here.
Could this open the blast door?
Possibly. Urgence, ouvert, allumé, radio diffusé. It sounds like this device was used to control the electronics here. Maybe it still does.
This device was used to control the electronics in the room. It could open doors, control lights, function as a radio computer.
Let's try emergency
We
open.
need to restore power before using this, officer.
Oh yeah, the music's up front, I think.
Generator. It didn't look like there was fuel in it. We should look around outside. There are barrels all over. Maybe one of them still has something in it.
He looks into the dim light to his right.
The boat engine.
Or we get some from the boat engine.
But officer, then we would have to swim back to the mainland. Let's just look around, okay?
The consul stands by, mutely. Urgence, ouvert, reads a dial key. Allumé reads another. The frequency band says, radio diffuser. Nothing happens.
Alright. So the radio dial.
Slides under the glass.
Probably not gonna do anything either.
You make out defunct stations on the UKV frequency. The words, Feld Insula, are written on the band.
Insular. This is an off-air radio computer, I believe, used for military communications.
Okay. Can't do the hatch yet either. Oh. Water rushes below. far down below. Firing slit. You can't see inside. Move on in a second. Okay. That's kind of cool that he puts away the items if he idles. It must have been a direct hit to take out such a huge chunk. Distant sound of cargo ships. Signal horns echo on the water. I thought there was a way to go down that side, but I guess not. Maybe the dot we saw was on that chunk, though. Ice cracks under your feet. Be careful not to fall through. Winch is broken, rust has eaten what remains of the chain. Alright, let's go back to that shack. Oh wait, there's more up here. Hitting your pelvis makes you wince, then you continue. It doesn't help that I've been running everywhere again. Inside the fortress, you may get the console and the blast door. Oh, there we go. Or we need the canister. I think we still have to go. Further artillery map showing coordinates of the Bay of Revachol. Old medicine cabinet stocked with Ruamine.
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall.
So there used to be more.
This looks like a good place to shoot from.
Inspect the
A
mattress.
single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns, and an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts.
Pick one out of the
The
can.
silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand, Tio Moteri.
Someone's been smoking Tio Mutiri cigarettes.
The smoker is a clean person. I didn't see any signs of smoking inside. Keeps it tidy. Prefers to come out here to smoke.
Check
There's
the
a
wall.
firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window.
Let's touch the concrete.
Old and grimy from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain.
Let's take a look.
The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water, the ruins look familiar.
On the left.
A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A and 33B.
To the right.
The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the whirling in rags. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 10. The doomed commercial area.
And between the two...
The box-shaped silhouette of the whirling in rags. Its sloped roof, a tiny fleck of light catches your eye on the rooftop. Sunlight reflecting off the upstairs window of Clausia's room.
Motherfucker.
What does that mean? Do you have line of sight to the window?
More than that,
Came with a pair of binoculars. I would be able to see inside the room.
A pair of binoculars? Or a scope of a rifle? You'd be prone, lying on a mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure.
cheek against the cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger, on a calm day like this.
Kim, I could make it. I can make the shot.
Good. I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
Affirmative.
Booyah, master cop work.
It's only moderately effective cop work until we have the weapon. It will not be, how do you say it, booyah, until we have that.
Could the shooter still be here?
Where?
On this island.
He does not answer, just nods. With his back hunched, he looks around once more and says, he feels uncomfortable suddenly.
We should move now.
Peace. Alright. I'm gonna head back inside. Then we gotta run an ad, but the fuel's out front. And then we can do the inside stuff, open the door, and then talk to that guy for 2 hours. It takes a while. Okay, yeah, we'll be right back. Alright. Moving on. Tabbing back in, then moving on. Boop, 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 boop. You can trace the visit in the air. Barrels run empty. There's almost nothing inside. Were there more on the shore?
The skiff is swaying on the way.
Alright. You'll have to look elsewhere. Oh, wait. I genuinely don't remember where the fuel was then, if it wasn't out there. Unless there's some in the canister we have. Oh, I guess there is. Okay. I thought we had to fill it with something.
Makeshift electrical wiring runs out of its side and across the floor. The
Fill it
lieutenant
up.
assists you, holding the canister up to the fuel tank as you tilt. Dark brown, viscous fluid pours out, and the room fills with a chemical smell.
Yeah, mazout bunker oil. It's
There's a
nasty.
red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start rope on the other side. The lieutenant flicks the switch.
Let her rip.
The recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old warhorse before settling down to a rattle.
I never noticed the little lights on it before. Alright. Oh yeah, controls were downstairs.
A dim golden glow animates the console. Faint, like a ghost light. Urgence ouvert reads one dial key. Allumé reads another.
It's on. Turn emergency open.
Automatic boot. The lighting in the room turns on with a sizzle. A dim ambient orange.
Alright, we're gonna play with the radio.
The dial slides under the dusty glass, dark and silent, despite the power being on. You make out...
Nope, still doesn't work. Got it.
On the UKV frequency, the words, failed insular, are written on the band.
Insular. This is an off-air radio computer, I believe, used for military
Should
communication.
the same thing, alright.
The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in.
Crunchy. One thing I genuinely appreciate is how they did a great job of integrating the 3D aspects with the more 2D looking
A
backgrounds.
sudden wave of anxiety makes
Like, it
my
doesn't
skin
necessarily stand out
After you.
as something that's interactive. What's there?
I don't know.
A thin wisp of smoke rises from a charred black fire pit. The wind picks up, then dies down again.
Alright, let's go. Small white flowers blossom all around you. Rubber dinghy, it's deflated. Broken. Alright, well, it's this guy or nothing. I'll save the points for if we need to, if I feel like we need to level up something on the fly. Kind of a nice long chat.
An old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours.
So,
Clouded by cataracts, his eyesight is sharp.
you the fire guy?
The what now? I can't hear you.
Did you recently tell two kids to put out their fire? Two twins.
I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing around, trying to give up the position.
The position sounds like a hiding place.
Nope. Something I forgot to do at the top of the stream here. We're good. Okay.
Fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up.
You retained your eyesight.
My eyesight? Yes. Helps me see all the shit.
A shudder of disgust passes his right side. His left side remains motionless.
Huh. Did you close the blast door?
I did. And you opened it. How?
I fueled the generator, then used the console.
I should have burned that console down.
He shakes his head. How'd you know it was coming?
Reactionary rock and roll music.
Oh yeah.
Playing on the water.
Told you we shouldn't play sad FM.
It was not rock and roll. It was sad FM.
Sad FM, huh? I always hated that station. Phlegmatic, counter-revolutionary dirges. Sadness is a mental illness. A weapon of the bourgeoisie. The fascists were right about rock and roll. It is degenerate. Hip gyrating, mental illness music.
Someone going for a red-brown alliance there. Nice gun you got there.
It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done.
Is that a Bill McGraw?
It's a 3-Angong 446.
A Samuran rifle. How did you get hold of one?
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyao commune. Military aid.
He pats the rifle.
It has stayed true to him. he can still make it sing.
Signal commune.
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk wiped from the board.
Your weapons stay true to you. Mine stay true to me, too.
Yes, I bet you've killed a lot of people with it. You fascist fuck. Have you come to make me one of them?
His grip on the rifle tightens.
His right eye twitches. With what? Fear? Rage?
We have come to ask you questions. Nothing more.
Lieutenant puts his hand on his
If
holster.
you do not comply, we will take you in. Do you understand?
Another spitball lands in the ashes. That's all the answer he gives.
The danger levels here are hard to read. One moment he's afire, the next, a fire gone out.
I'm with the police. You can keep the gun, but keep it down. Not one move.
No.
Lieutenant aims his pistol square at the man's head and says,
Down now, sir.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out before you question me? To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway.
I just realized Kim is pointing his gun through me.
Bullets.
The old man lays the rifle down, carelessly, and looks at it lying there.
Like an amputated limb in the sand.
Let me take a look at it.
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stopped and patched in places with tape and wire. Still warm from his parched hands. Not the metal. The metal is ice cold. This weapon has been modified several times.
Let's take a better closer look.
In a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangong, 4.46 millimeter, made in Sinyao.
As he said, Triangong, made in Sinyao.
No one said it has to be Velmagrave. We were just guessing.
From ballistics, it could easily have been a Triangong, too.
Thanks for bringing that up earlier, Visual Calculus.
Doesn't matter if it was made in Shanti Shanti. All it has to do is use jacketed ammunition. And it does.
Uses jacketed ammunition,
The
4.46.
right type and the right calibre.
The lieutenant nods, glancing at the gun.
Like in this.
Rails have been patched and modified several times.
I wonder how old it is.
The old man does not answer. He just stares in front of him.
So that.
Keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly. Some kind of involuntary response. Something is slightly off with his motorics. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It could be used against him to get a confession. In time.
Alright, who are you?
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
His eyes turn to the reeds again, dead and dull.
The commune of Revachol? Do you mean the
I kind of like how that doesn't say whether the reeds are dead and dull or his eyes are. Or both. Lieutenant forgets to close his mouth.
From the Insular Indian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in 07.
Oh, that explains the ICMs we saw earlier.
Control Orion, and consigned to emergency defense duties in 08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
So like self-criticism's more on the Chinese and some more extremist bents. Okay. Well, like you've been on this island.
43 years. No. I've been on other islands too.
He looks into the fire. A wisp of smoke rises from somewhere between the charred logs.
I was an resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E-48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago.
Again, you've been hiding here for 43 years?
43 years and 10 months.
That's steadfast.
It's not how a human being should live. But I had to. I couldn't just forget. I couldn't just forget what I saw.
He grimaces, clearly in pain.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
He looks across the water.
Where the afternoon grows late, on Rue de Saint-Ghislain, people walk home. Street lights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are alive with workers, men, women, children, street hawks and migrant laborers. The temperature is steady. Alto cumulus clouds form above Precinct 41.
Always waiting.
The old man turns his eyes from the shore and back to you. For what?
For her to return.
Her who?
Girl, child, revolution.
Women will always betray you.
Women are more susceptible to bourgeois morals.
As much as I would like to push the officers down above 19, I'm probably going to heal up if it comes up, just to get through this.
Betrayed mankind and themselves.
Alright. He blinks his black eyes.
The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do.
You said you deserted your unit?
I was just 16 years old, 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. And of courage, too.
Lapse of faith.
You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. For a second, I doubted the irreducible laws of historic materialism.
Never do that.
A second is all it took
For what?
for reaction to take hold.
I understand. Communists are natural cowards. Quantity over quality.
You haven't seen it. The face of who you serve, naked. It's impossible not to be afraid.
And this was when?
Lieutenant instinctively looks to his notebook, but does not take it out.
May the 13th, 08, 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airships. Their petroleum rose to the sky, and it looked like it formed the clouds. Storm clouds. When they started shelling, it was dark magic.
I feel like if you saw a sky full of gunships, you would probably shit your pants. In most cases. Dark magic.
The combined might
Especially
of
at age 16.
intelligence,
I can't fault this guy for that.
all the greed and terror in the world tore into Revachol. It lifted streets from the ground and turned houses into ghosts. We were in the flak tower,
He gestures towards it.
huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon, but I knew the commune would fall. We would all be turned into ash. So I said I was going to the map room.
He looks east.
A terrible shame still within him. The lobes of his ears are red with it. The shame and smallness of what he became.
You didn't go to the map room.
No. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkers there, like the weakest of the weak. A mouse, frightened at the ordnance all night, and the sound of the rotors in the morning, whirring.
He looks at the sky. What was up?
Airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. The chain was submerged. I had to swim back. The fortress was half submerged too. Shattered.
Well,
They'd all drowned in the lower levels, or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. It was real. I'd seen it. I'd seen it in reality.
he opens his eyes and stares straight through you.
Some kind of great terror. Worse than you've ever seen.
Seen what?
The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone, everything you love. All the hope and tenderness in the world. It has to take it off just for 1 second to do the deed.
Funny how that rings now down the line with, certain apartheid colonial projects, doing exactly that.
Then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death. The sweetest, most
Not even against,
people in the
an
world.
ideological opponent either.
You see the fear and power in its eyes. Then you know
Know what?
that the bourgeois are not human.
That's definitely enough now.
The old man does not say more. Those black eyes of his keep piercing you as he looks to some great distance and shakes his head slowly, retreating from it.
What is this place? This island?
It's not an island, Dwat. It's a defensive fortification of the commune of Revachol. And I am its last surviving defender.
What was it used for?
The congenitally deformed King Philip II built it to restrict access to the Bay of Revachol. We captured it in '02, retrofitted the fort with an AA gun to defend against an airborne landing. Against the whole world.
You mean the landing? Retaking Revachol?
Coalition military called it Operation Deathblow. I later found out on the radio they called it
He winces.
Deathblow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Caillou alone.
Someone who's come to end this madness.
Iblis,
Iblis?
the black-eyed angel.
How have you survived all this time?
How does anyone survive? I steal.
He looks at his worn running shoes.
Now hold on there.
That's a choice. You could have become self-employed. Create the system.
You're insane and grotesque. Everyone steals. Vegetables, supplies. It's the life of a dog.
He coughs once more, then puts his hand on his belly.
How is your health, Mr. Dross?
It ain't.
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stew, too.
He does seem frail. Gaunt for his age. More like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer.
TRCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked over.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy.
I do have a lot of drugs in my pockets. A droll smile stretches across his mouth.
You also have druamine.
Yeah. We have Druamine and other opioid-based painkillers. You must be in pain.
I have been running out of that stuff.
A light goes on in his eyes. He smacks his dry lips.
There's no way he could manage the pain without them. It's safe to say he is addicted to painkillers by now.
You like that Druamine, don't you?
It's the little joys. A dark joke. A sunshiny day. Morphine.
A crooked smile appears on his face. This is a serious situation. You need to be looked over and we can do it.
There's nothing to look over. The triage is in, and it's black. Administer morphine. moribund.
How have you coped mentally?
I haven't. I have holes in my brain. Years missing. Others
I
filled.
always did appreciate his honesty for that.
A decade of
His eyes roll into his skull and back.
I don't even know what. Inferno?
You notice the lieutenant's about to say something.
I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult, mentally, to live in isolation.
Traitors. It's better alone. I watch the people of this city turn the lights back on more and more each year. Ruins, glimmering in the dark, like a fucking merry-go-round. It's disgusting.
He looks down at his shoes, his face parched from the sun and the wind. There's a wince of pain in there somewhere.
Are they not heartbroken? How could they have moved on?
How have you concealed yourself all these years?
It was hard in the tens. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching for stragglers, those bloodhounds. Floodlights on the water at night.
He closes his eyes.
There were posters, campaigns.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulated. Martinez and Cold City were turned to dust. But Jamrock, Forburg, even Coron, and Boogie Street, of course. Those fucking kips had Marsov coursing through their veins. And others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. Soon they all went silent. The frequencies dead.
He shakes his head. How do you get between here and the mainland?
At night, I used a dinghy. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols, you lot, the commons too. They'd started snitching.
In the city, you move underground?
Stitches for them. Alright,
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted.
He falls silent, his gaze fixed on the shacks huddled together across the water. Why don't you just walk there?
I don't want to. They're all traitors. Pigs, rabbits, and dogs. Men without ideals are only animals.
He does not want to see life moving on. People forgetting, drinking, laughing.
Women's cache under Saint Lane 22B. In the basement. Have you been there?
So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Belma Graves, right?
He looks at you, then pulls the raincoat tighter around his neck. They were.
Useless now. Rusted away.
So you've been there?
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others. Those McGraves were shit, even before they corroded. Some had bullets in the chamber, however.
You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's walked across.
There's a small bunker under the Feld building. Have you stayed there?
The propaganda bunker. I used to, but not anymore.
Propaganda bunker?
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment, too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers. I buried them with their leaflets. They killed themselves. 2 young boys.
Rip Kalibnub.
A lot of our boys did. I
Killed
spent
themselves?
some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. No need to go underground anymore. It's better in the ruins, on the ground.
He stares at the ruins of the Feld building. One more question. Do you smoke Tio Mutiri cigarettes?
I do.
You ever smoke them on the mainland?
They're good. Plenty of tar. I like that boy on the pack, too. Reminds me of the last century.
Tell me another thing.
The old man looks across the water, at the city, the ruins, the motorways rising above it.
You said this is your termless surrender?
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol.
We enforce the law. We keep these animals from killing each other.
You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, le Parti Communiste dans ce land. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
His hand shakes and he breaks into a coughing fit. Makes you, like, the way this sounds makes it feel like he's rehearsed this in his head for years now.
Blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the fire pit.
So you're a communist soldier from the Communist Army?
No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army.
But you said you were trained and assigned to the Defense Corps.
Trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the party. These things used to mean something.
That means you're a trained communist, right?
He nods slowly, then another tremor.
By the way, I'm a fascist.
You're not. You're part of the meat shield surrounding the real fascists while they rape children. That's what you are.
Well, that sounds about right for your average foot soldier.
We have not come here to discuss ideology.
He then turns to the old man.
We have come to ask questions regarding a murder investigation.
The old man spits into the fire pit. He does not say anything more. A jitter passes his lower body.
I have another serious question for you.
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce.
Who are you?
My name.
Oh wait, we did these already.
I left my 40. I was an resurrection until they. There's nothing serious in this world.
What have you?
It's
What
a
it?
farce.
Sorry. What have you? What have you? What are you using this gun for?
I've used it for killing people.
Here we go.
Well, that narrows it down.
Blood. The lieutenant smells it too.
Killing people?
Oh.
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that. I've used it to kill people.
At least he knows what guns are for.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
He's right.
This is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. Something you haven't felt in a while. But
But what?
this is what you live for. This is the shit. The great serotonin jackpot. Go in straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
I know you want it, Tillman. Have you killed anyone with a gun in the past week or two?
I don't want to tell you anything, you grotesque murderer.
And why did you think that was a good idea? Don't listen to me. I'm wrong all the time.
So you're saying you killed people after active fighting stopped?
What did I just say?
He keeps shaking his head erratically suddenly. He brushes something out of his eye.
What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now.
Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor, Cornell?
The who now?
He leans in and cups his ear.
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it. You're in.
A beautiful, strong man sent here by the Honorable Private Military Company, Cornell.
What?
Who said to protect fair, just, beautiful corporate interests in an ugly labor dispute. He was murdered.
Are you being clever? What is this socially abhorrent joke?
Watch your mouth, Mr. Dross.
Lieutenant squeezes the handle of his pistol. I'm absolutely sincere. Now, did you use that rifle to kill him? To shoot him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the Commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
A drop of blood in the saliva. The gun. The murder weapon is the perfect opener. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember. Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first.
I don't need your cooperation. I've got this. I've got this. Show him the gun.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistols. I've seen you prance around with those. Jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting.
Stop changing the subject. We have the murder weapon.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
You think we have the murder weapon?
4.46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We have it. This is it.
I'm calling it. We have the murder weapon.
Good.
Lieutenant takes out his notebook and draws a single line.
This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder.
The old man does not say more. He just glances into the reeds and then twitches once more.
This pushed him, but not enough. Just a little more.
We've done the ballistics. Point to the tower. The shot came from this island.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
The cheater passes him.
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession.
Lieutenant softens his voice.
You've been here a long time, Mr. Dross. Too long. You clearly need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
He's practically admitting to it. Just one thing. The rifle does not have a scope.
One thing, where's the scope? How'd you make the shot without a scope? We have everything else.
Forget about your stupid fucking scope. I don't know where it is. Find it yourself. It's your problem now.
He lost it. He just doesn't know where it is. Forget it. Push on.
He was perfect. With a pair of binoculars I could have seen in the room.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Another sudden twitch, and then one more in his right eye.
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
You're a communist. I talked to the dead man. He told me communism killed him.
Stupid dwat.
He scoffs.
The lieutenant looks at you with worry in his eyes. Not this, he seems to say. Anything but this.
It was intuition. Had he spoken, he would have said communism killed him.
Intuition is an aberrant psychologism.
I feel like maybe I should just skip that one. For this Harry.
Fascism. The parasite class use intuition.
Oh, no, I just played with the fascist thing, so that's fine.
In life, it's all just palmistry and magic. Earl creatures. Your brain is rotting from the radio waves.
He looks at the air, then turns to the lieutenant.
He does not answer the provocation. It does not look like he thinks this approach worked. Yeah, this just did nothing.
Alright, come on, what am I forgetting? Put yourself on the side of the head.
Here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
Oh yeah!
There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're revolutionary symbols from the war. Nowhere else, nowhere in all of Martinaise have you seen them this spring. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now, they're gonna come up.
Of course. Thank you, Head. Thank you.
You got it. Remember, the boot prints were like no modern soul.
Wonder what brand of boots you're wearing.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa. Some shit.
He looks at his running shoes covered in mud.
Show me the soles, please, Mr. Torres.
Fucking imbecile.
The old man stretches out his leg. Black and white spiral pattern covers the sole of the worn-out old running shoes on his feet.
The maker is called Sansarique, and the size is 42 to 44. These are not the unusual horizontal patterned soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
The size fits, but not the sole.
Alright. I got points to spend. We might as well drop one in drama if I still can.
Simpler.
Still botched it.
No. This is another loose thread you will never connect.
Okay. Goddamn footprints everywhere. I hate them.
The lieutenant raises his brow. What are you doing? He's thinking. We almost got him here.
What do we do now? We're not getting these prints to match.
Damn shoes, detective. It was you. You were there, weren't you? Crawling in a whirling rags. What were you doing? Some kind of reconnaissance? Preparing the scene? Listening in on her?
Trying to rack your brains. You're desperate to report something back to your masters. They must have really loved that dead fuck.
The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire.
The guy they played Dross
Some strange process.
knows when to lean into stuff. It's so good.
Seagulls in the distance. You've almost got him. Just the last little push.
There were Maybells behind the victim's window.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
He looks at the blossoming field behind you.
He seems tender suddenly. Nostalgic even. A strange mood swing.
So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in more days. Only here.
They blossom on the islets before we fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May before they ruined it.
He looks to the water.
South, the Bay of Martinaise is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in white snow.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
You must get around a
The
lot.
guy must not get along with Santa Claus.
Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops?
I may.
A curious tremor passes his face. Young woman named Claudia. Ring any bells? These dried flowers were behind her window.
Clausier.
You know her, right? She had intimate relations with the victim, the mercenary.
With the victim.
He turns his sight from the whitening field of flowers and falls silent. Then the muscles in his jaw twitch. Spasm.
There is a small tremble. Looks like a smile. A crooked smile. Yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
He was a soldier, too. He was a man.
Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. Now you stop eating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
Alright, he breathes it through his nostrils. So you shot him.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
You can also see, you can almost see him squeeze a tear out of his eye. His fists begin to tremble from the anger.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling.
Let it rip.
While the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
Alright, well now.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them. In phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth.
Sorry to doze off here. Longer day than I thought. He begins to smile.
I didn't think I had a shot like
I also
that.
thought he had more to say with that.
I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death.
I have caffeine, so we'll be okay for mouthwashing later, but
And his dick still in her.
the smile quivers. Then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white. Or what's left of it, anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Lieutenant asks after a second of silence.
Yes.
A single word is all he gives.
And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
Lieutenant takes out his notebook slowly, very
The
slowly.
old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
He shrugs and smacks his lips.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Why were you looking at them that night?
I'm always looking.
He cocks his head to the side, then turns his eyes to the city. Another tremor passes his right side, lower in intensity.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
Helps him see all the shit.
And if you don't like it,
Click.
It's part of the shit, you see.
then you pull the trigger.
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
What specifically did you not like about what you saw the night of the murder?
Them fucking. I didn't like that.
So you were jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore. And I wanted to see his head
Oh,
explode.
the traumatic increase there.
That too.
Escalation's what I meant.
She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
He wants to see her covered in blood.
Bruh. How long have you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Feld building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving,
Past the Fell building on the coast. What was she doing there?
hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it.
As in cigarette.
I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me. but I could see her smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
And beautiful.
And beautiful.
That, too.
He nods.
How could you see what she looked like? You said it was dark.
The sun came up. Her hair was like cobwebs. She smoked more fags and snorted a line of whatever shit she was on right there. She needed it just to move.
What do you think she hid there?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
This is the hidden buoy she told us about. You looked into it?
After she was gone,
He nods.
Did you keep what was in it? When we found the submersible, it was empty.
no. Why would I do that? I didn't need tickets to Villiers. I'd put them back. If I wanted to extort someone, I'd do better.
Are you sure? We checked the submersible. There was nothing there.
Why would I need that trash? I'm not going to Villiers.
He looks at the reeds, confused.
A strange confusion comes over him from time to time. Some kind of aberration of the nervous system.
Moving on, did you continue watching her after this?
I did. She had a face like an archipelago with those birthmarks. And a body hard and lean and bruised all over. Black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run. Revachal's the cloaca of capital now.
A good phrase.
Man-at-arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook from the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
The bruises. You can't make that out in a scope.
You can see her bruises through the scope of a rifle?
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
How does he know those minute details about her body?
It quickly comes to you.
Bruises on her body, and she has you seen them through a hole in the wall?
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating.
Everything in him fills with impossible longing, all at once.
Did you make that hole?
With a clip point knife.
Good for listening.
I don't know if I succeeded that one
Moaning and the snorts.
before. No. Ever see it through a window on a roof?
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass.
You've been through the secret route behind the whirling rags. Those were your footprints there. You just changed your shoes.
I've been through all of Martinez. Every nook and cranny.
And that too?
Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
He keeps shaking his head.
You hear the familiar scribble.
Maybe I should have
of
caffeinated before doing this stream.
A quick glance at you. One more loose end down. We're doing this, detective.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
He points towards the whirling rags.
Andy found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the Union Box window.
You wanted to punish her, so you killed him.
She practically breastfed that man. You wouldn't believe the things she let him do to her.
I like women too, you know.
True. There is something bourgeois about women. The weak are more vulnerable to exploitation by capital, unless they rise up in arms, which the likes of her,
He shakes his head.
twisted by psychopharmaceuticals, alcohol, and the class interests of the bourgeoisie, they all are women nowadays.
I'm gonna hit this guy with the anarcho-feminism stick. Dude needs to learn. Alright, see you had feelings for that woman.
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough.
The coals of his eyes.
I like that they kept the stumble in too, that's
like
good.
stones
It's a good
dripping
take.
with Water. Is he crying?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
Hate to cut it there, but it's break time, so we'll come back to address his sads. BRB. Alright. Back to whamming. Okay, he looks at the city. There have been others.
Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian to feel something.
Is that why you left the dried flowers behind our window?
No.
He starts to shake his head again, a sunflower on a withered stalk. Why then?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of our room on the floor, like she does sometimes.
When was this?
The day after I killed him.
And you brought her Maybells?
Yes. I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
You wanted to manipulate her.
Maybe. I told you, I have holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you.
A sudden pang of rage.
If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
He wipes his eye.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes, then nods at you once more. One more down.
Alright. So in conclusion, it wasn't about him, it was about her.
Her.
He repeats, staring at the ashes, then the reeds. There's a twitch in the corner of his eye.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement. That's it. Motive. We have it.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
I'm not at liberty to say.
I know she's gone. Locked up, or on the run. She kept staring into the scope, you know. In the end, this last week, at the fort. Like she knew. Like she knew I was here. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's to no one in particular.
Midtown, across the Bay of Rivershell, the oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lucerne Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft. On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still, she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghosts of the city she's leaving, for another, far south.
Oh, it's the same aerodrome that quote-unquote Dolores was trying to get to.
Distant, hidden, not like the great chandelier she sees sparkle in the night below her. Streetlights, towers, tenements, and water, and across it, a dark strip of ruins, barely visible, if she didn't squint her eyes.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
Lieutenant uses the opportunity to tell you, in a lowered voice.
You could get more out of him. He likes talking. Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and end this.
Been looking at anything else you haven't liked?
A tragic comedy. Druggies, prostitutes, and rentiers.
He shakes the life.
A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. It straightens his back.
More specifically?
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez is the worst.
He shakes his head in grave disgust. How come?
Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio shows. In the ruins, in their lorries.
He points inland.
Full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it.
Mr. Clare?
Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class.
Anything more?
Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. In tents, like animals. Like those boom-boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs.
Don't get mad at the speed kids. Alright. He keeps shaking his head with sorrow for the sight he's missed. He keeps shaking his head with sorrow for the sight he missed. That all?
The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cop parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins, too.
Is there anybody you do like, man?
Every morning.
Besides, what's it?
While the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Koyamoran, or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children.
Okay, then.
That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal...
Honestly, real-world history has not failed to bear that out.
To have sordid sex. At least that old cunt Frisell is now dead.
No, I have some questions about this.
We did good when we pushed him under the horse car. Until, in the 30s, those disco whores.
He breathes in, his breath heavy with hatred. You cannot make out a single word.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter.
Disco whores.
Whores.
That's all he says. Even that word has to be pushed through his teeth with great force. The rage seethes too hard. You mentioned the Union is Social Democratic, and Mr. Clare's a farce of a Social Democrat.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy. The true enemy of the proletariat. Placating the masses.
So he's actually leaning anarchist. Okay. It was a disappointment, Everett Clare.
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass. I mean...
No, the other Clare.
The smart one.
Edgar.
You mean Edgar, Everett's brother?
He talks a big game about uprising and social base. They must have sent the smart one to some university in Le Jardin, where it's alienation this and hegemony that.
You talked to Edgar?
First against the wall with him.
He stopped poking at the ash now, just shakes his head.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez without them knowing.
Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else first. Soften him up.
Have you approached them?
I haven't approached anyone. I've hid. It was Edgar who came to me.
How did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains.
He points to the path leading to the tower.
Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was a man of the left. Wouldn't rat me out. I was right about one of those things.
When was this?
20 years ago. Neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
What did you talk about?
Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Flaunted his pink degree. Even quoted Marzoff. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Marzoff. Oh, and charity, too. They love their charity. Offered me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker he brought.
Did he let you be here?
Let me be here. The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the Commune of Revachol. We
It's out of
took
control.
this fortification from the Loyalists. Even the Clares understand this.
Mr. Dross, did you kill the Cornell mercenary for the Clares to incite a riot?
You know why I killed that fucker, Dwat. As to Edgar, I'm not doing anything for that swine again.
Again? What have you done for Edgar before?
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick. We parted ways.
We got points to burn. It was logic, right? I'll just take this slight chance. We got it! Again! We're getting sick rolls.
Cold water.
Somehow.
Dark, cold water.
20 years ago, when you met Edgar, Claire's didn't run the Union yet, did they?
Hey,
A sputter from the old man.
He acknowledges it. Here we go. A twist behind the dark bend.
Who did?
that bourgeois cow. Tiffin Holly was her name. Licked the rich man's hand every time he came to town. Never seen a labor leader so hot on mutual cooperation. And money. She liked that too. That Holly was a real bridge builder and a deal maker.
His eyes glisten suddenly with hatred.
Bordering on sentimentality, it drips out of him, tempered by something familiar to you. A familiar rage.
She was a woman, wasn't she? Like that Claudia.
She was. And she was real soft on those money men. Had a Barbara Muskova bag over her shoulder that she liked to bring.
Just in case. And then she just disappeared.
Called in, they say. On the eve of battle. Ran away. Vanished like a piss stain.
He squints and smiles at the black logs.
That's not quite it, is it?
Did she? They say her daughter called in, not her personally. But that wasn't really her daughter, was it?
No, I guess it was not.
You can swear you see the embers glow again under his eyes on the dust. Like you heard someone make the call. What's that, Mr. Dross?
She couldn't make the call herself.
Here it is, the bend in the river.
Why?
Because she was dead.
How come?
Because the cow caught a bullet in her right lung. Fell into the canal, grasping her tit, and drowned. Or bled. Hard to say. It was a sloppy job, on a moving target. She was going home, waddling, dressed in yellow, drunk like she often was. The ruins are black around her, and she had a yellow leather bag under her arm. She tried to cross the canal, heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt, someplace like that, where they build those new bâtiments for the people who flourish in the hell around her. And the ruins.
It was you. Make a motion like shooting a rifle.
It was someone. Someone shot her.
He shrugs. His eyes grow cold suddenly.
Or maybe she just fell. I get these violent ideations. My memory is filled with holes, especially the 30s. All I know is...
Another big spike of rage, different from the one he has for her.
nothing changed. Not in the material base, not in the hegemony. There was no uprising. Just words.
Oh, Everard probably promised him something instead.
Nothing came of it. Nothing.
Edgar didn't keep his part.
There we go, yeah. A sputter again. Nothing more.
If you were to testify to this, give the RCM something on Edgar, you could walk.
Lieutenant says it in a voice even calmer, as if it were nothing at all.
We would strike everything you've done and process you as a POW. You were in a war. You were on assignment. We could even extradite you to the Samaran People's Republic.
A degenerate worker state. Goat shit. No, thank you. I'm Revacholian. My days are short. I will rot away here, in a moral intern cell. I will not testify to anything.
But you did do it.
I saw it happen, and I liked it. That's all I have to say. I didn't live and fight for 40 years to end up as a collaborationist. I've heard it on Channel 8, 40 AM, Radio Revachol, late night. Everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone. They're all already locked up for betrayal. The best ones, the ones with heart, were slaughtered, trampled.
Right, he looks at the city.
The same old freezing hatred. There is plenty here to work with once he's in custody, and the lieutenant knows it. He gives you a little nod to proceed.
By the cock parading his colorful uniform, you mean, Renee?
Every fucking morning for 34 years. Throwing that ball. One ball against the other. I've always loathed that game. That is not a working class game.
You will not catch him watching the Batonk World Championships.
Radio June. Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like a parrot plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. A Patank maniac race traitor.
So he is also a little racist, but also hates the other racists more. I mean, he does have holes in his brain, as he admits himself, but I don't know about.
I remember him. I remember him from La Noce. Not him personally, his make and model. There were tens of thousands of them. I thought we took them all out before the liberals came to their rescue. We missed one, that one.
With his shaky finger, he points to the city, towards the crater near the plaza where a lonely pine tree stands.
There doesn't seem to be a single person under the pine today. Not even Gaston. Alone.
There's no one there.
Fat and plump, like a pheasant. Just begging to be popped off. Please, Mr. Dross, shoot me.
A grin stretches across his face and says very softly,
He whispers with
Oh, you
such
said.
predatory hunger. It borders on longing.
"You'd like to kill him?"
Not yet. I like to look at him strut around, place the crosshair on his medals, right on his face, and just fiddle the trigger. Think about it. Let the bomb melt in my mouth.
Smile lingers.
Save the treat for later.
Lieutenant asks cheerfully,
He is a juicy bonbon, that one. A real treat for the black day, the blackest. When I put that gun in my own mouth, I think, no, don't waste it. Put this lead in that cock, Renee.
I guess one way to live for spite.
And then I look at him throw those balls, and I suddenly feel
He lets out a wistful sigh.
better. I even hid one bullet, so I'd always have one for him. Haven't seen him around lately, strutting around. Must be down with arthritis. I hope it hurts like hell. I hope he sweats blood.
Hearing it may destabilize him. You sure you've gotten everything from him?
Pretty much. Renee's dead. He died of old age a couple days ago.
No,
Yeah.
I waited too long. I waited too long and now he's dead?
The old communard looks at you, his blackberry eyes shaking in disbelief.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dross. I understand you knew him for a long time.
They're all dead now. Fuck you.
I'm sorry.
Fuck you.
You cared about him?
All human beings care about each other. I cared for seeing his head explode. Now, God damn this world.
Seems a little entitled to think you were going to be the one to do it. You okay, Mr. Dross, to go on?
You think I haven't seen people die? It's all I've seen them do. Fuck and die. All the other plans we had. To love. To colonize the Pale. It's all fucked.
It doesn't look like he is. Okay.
Glad we talked about this now.
Glad we talked about what?
Alright, composure.
What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain, or the cough, or the malnutrition. For a man who's spent 44 years hidden in the urban wild.
He's surprisingly okay.
Indeed. He speaks fluidly. His movements are rapid.
I think we have to pass that to encounter the phasmid, so I guess we're getting the phasmid.
There. It is capable of expressing complicated ideas. Above all, he seems animated.
Animated by what?
It's a mystery. This animation comes at a cost too. Erratic hand gestures, thought processes cut off like threads, as he just stares at the logs or the reeds. He also suffers mood swings, bubbling to the surface, unconstrained by his nervous system.
Dementia?
You've seen demented...
I know I'm doing the voice for the
This
thoughts.
feels similar, yet different.
I was doing that earlier too.
Thoughts
The earlier
move
sessions, I mean.
lucid, keen even. Not senile. Is it some kind of substance damage? Like he's addicted to something? Not only the painkillers he's clearly on.
Mr. Dross, you're in some kind of psychoactive substance.
No. I won't be stuffed full of shit like the rest of this city.
He snaps at us staring through you.
You said you take painkillers.
The lieutenant follows your lead.
I take them to cope with pain. The people of this city use painkillers because they have pain. Untreated illnesses. Not enough money for a greedy doctor.
It's not a downer, rather an upper, judging by his snaps.
How about Perulidon?
I don't know what that is.
He shakes his head. Are you on amphetamines?
Like some kind of decadent rock star.
He doesn't dignify it with more of an answer. Mr. Dross, are you okay? How's your memory?
No, I'm not okay. I shit blood, and I'm surrounded by insane people.
Fair assessment. He waves his hand, chasing something that's not there.
There it is again. Erratic hand motions, bouts of rage, and the stomach thing too, of course. Could it be a symptom of overdosing on something? Something even you have not tried? Keep your eyes peeled.
Yosef Leonovich Dross, you're under arrest for the murder of the Colonel here in Martinez.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
The old man's eyes filled with sudden, unexpected terror at the words.
This terror is the sum of all the uncontrollable movements and mood swings he's been exhibiting. The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear. The lieutenant continues, like an incantation.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel with...
I like that they basically rewrote the Miranda rights for this too.
Do you understand?
Do we have to fill out a little slip?
But
Do you understand, sir?
No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He looks at the reeds, eyes submerged in growing terror.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead. Pupils are dilated too. Eyes getting blacker and blacker.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
First say, is it a room for 3?
Not really. We could escort him to the pier, then either one of us can take him inland while the other stays here. But
There's something you're not getting here that he's realizing.
But what?
who watches over him there while I come back for you?
Maybe I just ask that nitpicker to watch him?
This is no harmless old man.
Lieutenant shakes his head.
This fucking world. This world. What is this?
No, listen. Listen now.
Okay. We either get it or we don't.
You thought you heard something, but it's just the reeds.
No phasmid today.
Maybe we could all fit in there.
We can all fit in the little boat.
Actually, no.
You could come back for me once you've taken him to the precinct.
No, it would take a whole day on this island. You go and transport the prisoner. I'll be here. I can escort him to the pier with you.
No need to be polite, I'll do it.
This world? What are you talking about? Is this?
His voice drowns out in a sudden gush of wind.
The wind is cold. From the east, your skin is crawling suddenly.
Oh, maybe we still get to encounter it. We just don't notice it actively. Or we just see it leave. Hey, buddy.
A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb, to then just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence.
What is that?
What are you talking about?
A giant stick insect? The old man looks at the reeds, then at you.
There's nothing there.
He looks confused.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you, with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head.
Oh, I guess without the perception roll, maybe it just doesn't talk to us.
You feel your legs shaking under you, and your gun hand move to your holster to grab the gun.
There is, I see it.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
Kim, can you see it?
I can see it.
4 simple words, thank God. If you can see, then you're not insane. It's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence. Its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
Lieutenant whispers and takes a step towards the giant arthropod. I don't think we'd inspect the nest until after we interact with it, so... I'll do autosave it or manually save anyway. Force of habit.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from his head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more than 5 steps away from you. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks.
This is the Insulinian phasmid.
It is.
Lieutenant whispers behind you. You hear the familiar ring of his jacket unzipping, slowly. Painstakingly so.
Glance over your shoulder. The lieutenant holds a piece of milled aluminium. He begins to pull it open, extremely carefully. It's the camera. No, the flash will scare the creature off. Warn him now.
You're sure the one's scared off?
We need a photo. No one will believe us.
He continues to pull the lens open.
From the corner of your eye, you see a sudden cascade of motion ripple through the phasmid's limbs, A series of ultrasonic clicks fills your ear. I am not palatable. Do not eat me. I am afraid.
Okay, take the... Well, since we succeeded, it's afraid. Stop now.
I won't be one of those fools who didn't take a picture.
He stopped fiddling with the camera, but does not put it down.
He's letting his pride get in the way. You see the phasmid turn to him, its mandible antennae reaching out. Its motions are quick, sudden.
Who cares what they think, Kim?
Understood. Of course.
He says with a
The
nod.
spindly mechanism turns itself back to you, its antennae taking their measure of the air, slowly.
Say something to it quietly, something like... Hey.
The creature tilts its tiny head to the side and appears to look at you. It is incredibly light, like the slightest gust of wind should blow it away. But it doesn't. There is a sadness in there. Or is it in you? From the dream. It's still with you. The pitiful, hey, you told her.
I wanted to mirror that, so... Alright, let's approach. Watching that after all this would have been funny, but...
Breath held. You take 2 small steps toward the phasmid. The creature lets out a series of ultrasonic clicks that swarm around your head like swallows. Like laughter, a sort of happiness. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs. The head of the creature is crowned by reeds, and its eyes are like small droplets of water.
Alright, raise your hand slowly.
The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Below its crown of reeds, little pinprick eyes detect motion, glittering. The world stands
I
still.
wonder if we get any options to be an asshole towards this thing.
Suddenly, there is silence. No, stop. Be afraid.
Raise the other hand too.
As you do, the invertebrate comes to life, its limbs moving independent of each other, as if each has a mind of its own. They are white, like stalks of porcelain, knitting above you, praying to you.
That's right, pray.
Unwittingly, the insect continues its stridulations. As it moves, tuft-like structures, still pretending to be plants, rustle along on its joints. Perhaps it is preparing to eat its god.
Hello, I'm Harry. I don't really know who I am.
No reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears to be some kind of foam. The stridulations of its limbs continue all around you.
Alright, let's take a closer look.
You were right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its segmented lower lip. It looks to be foaming, slowly. The foam is white, then yellowish. The faintest smell, like you've never felt before. Like burnt roses.
Kim, it's foaming.
Careful. It may be poisonous.
Lieutenant watches you apprehensively.
The foam slowly turns a darker shade, like burnt caramel, as the insect moves its mouth parts, masticating. The little bubbles begin to burst, one by one, letting out that same smell, like summer burning.
Might as well burn with the last point we got.
I exist.
What are you doing? Okay. I exist too.
Tell me what it's like for you,
If I tell you what'll happen.
then I will tell you what it's like for me.
Okay. I'm ill.
What is your illness?
I'm ill in my head. I'm insane. That's how it is for me.
I am not. There isn't even a central nervous system in my head. Only mouth parts. We're eating white blood clots. Now I will tell you how it is for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images. a kind of darkness, being intruded upon, transient, dim, moist.
So I guess we get the chat too. Alright, intruded upon by what?
Shapes of plants and animals, and internal sensations. A swarm of sounds, tiny vibrations on the inside of my forearms. All speak of complexities totally beyond my understanding. I am at the end of a narrow funnel, weightless, so light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. I certainly do not have a soul, and if I did, it would never ache.
The fuck is happening to me right now?
I don't know. You're just a shadow for me. Far away, faintly transmitting. But for a curious smell,
Glad to be me, an incredibly sensitive instrument.
few of us can begin to imagine the horror of you. With all of creation reflected in your forebrain. It must be like the highest of hells, a kaleidoscope of fire and writhing glass. Eternal damnation.
Yeah, a little bit.
Even when you're sleeping, and when you wake, you carry it around on your neck, with eyes open that cannot help but swallow more behind the mirror. I feel great, mute empathy for you.
It's hell. I changed my mind. I want to be you.
You want to be a fussman? Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Why do you ask?
Sometimes, when molting, I regrow a lost limb. One time something went wrong, and a small leg replaced a missing antenna.
That's cool.
No, the leg tried to move around independently, making it hard to walk.
You don't have a foot there now.
Yes, thankfully someone ate it. The next time I molded, I grew an antenna again.
Alright, I'm a detective.
So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect?
The killer.
He's in a bad state, deteriorating fast now. He thinks I am beneficial to him, but I am not. I only quicken his deterioration
You're destroying him?
very slowly, and only because he won't go away. It is meant to keep them from noticing me, to interfere with the pictures in their heads. But he has looked at me for too long, and I am destroying him.
Is this a dream? What's happening?
No, you're awake. I am real. Light is forming me. This is real.
Where does this come from? All this. Around us, the world.
Not even the birds know that. Not even the water lilies.
Then all we do is beat our fists against it, day after day, with no answer.
You can also eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Yum yum. Or read.
Wait, so
So you look like a reed and you eat reeds?
Yes, they don't mind.
Have you accidentally eaten another reed phasmid?
Yes, I once cloned myself and ate the little ones. It was winter, and I woke up at the wrong time. It was an accident.
Whoopsie. What exactly are you?
I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmodia, endemic to the Insulindia Insula. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight.
Why do you talk like my encyclopedia?
Reeds, molting, cloning myself, unfolding at night to play with trash bins and boys.
Boys, you say?
it may have unknown, dangerous biochemical characteristics that help it maintain its camouflage.
No one unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain. Also, by the soldiers of the revolution and officials of the occupation. Even the Seminese islanders who came here first, but did not stay, have not seen me. I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions, until I was accidentally discovered by a detective of the citizen militia in Revachol, district of Martinez, March 51.
Are you poisonous?
Yes, I do not have a starter display, so I use a neurodegenerative element to aid in camouflage. Do not worry. It is only destructive over long periods of time.
That's insane.
No, you are. The moral of our
Everybody's got my ass, apparently.
I am a relatively medium life form, while it is you who are a total extreme madness. A volatile senior nerve system ominously new to the planet. The Pale too came with you. No one remembers it before you. The Nidarians do not. The radially symmetrics do not. There is an almost
I
unanimous...
forgot what Canadians are. Radial symmetry, that's starfish and shit, I think. Wait, the pill is human made?
It is a nervous shadow cast into the world by you, eating away at reality. A great, unnatural territory. Its advent coincides with the arrival of the human mind.
I don't have that kind of power.
You're a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos.
The
and
shit
stars.
yeah, I guess it's like, yeah, it's an extension of the idea of perceptual, consensual perceptual reality.
Just by
I probably misnamed that, but... How?
we suspect it will be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out anaerobic life 2.6 billion years ago, when organisms first started breathing. Only much worse.
Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts.
Where's how?
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nose mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink. What if he misplaces us all one day, or just forget?
Have I always thought this way?
No, you're only thinking it now. This is a revelation.
But I want to blink and undo 12 billion years of matter expansion.
Simian Butcher. Soon, one of you will close your eyes and open them to see that none of this ever existed.
Kim, am I having a violent epileptic seizure?
It doesn't look like that, no.
What does it look like?
You're just staring at it.
Alright, then I think I'm having a vision about the final fate of mankind.
Okay. Is it somehow related to the case?
Sort of?
I think we should take the picture, and then you should back away from the unstudied species.
Alright, I have to say goodbye now. I have no more thoughts, that was all.
No, there is one more.
Of all the creatures I've met, you're the kindest.
Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you before you go. That woman. Turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward. Forever show.
I can't.
She was hell on earth. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
Okay, Kim, take the picture.
Okay.
I think it's less of a personal comment about her and more just it wasn't going to work out between the two.
There is no change in the insect's motion while it's being aimed by the camera.
I didn't describe the camera movement, whatever.
In 3.
Camera time.
If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant, hypnotized by the flash. It stands frozen before you.
I got it.
You hear the lieutenant whisper as the creature's shape develops onto photo paper in his hand. A polychrome ghost of white streaks against the reeds in the sky, and you, as a shadow before it. We got it.
A shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left off, in a swaying, praying motion. Even the small black pearls of its eyes do not stray from you. As you're turning
Peace
away,
out.
the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface.
Bye now. I really like how they animated its
Just
ambulatory
like that, it's gone,
movements.
skating away across the sea's calm mirror like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but circles on the water. And something under it, in the place it stood, bobbing there, among the reeds, a collection.
This is where we get the goodies.
It's gone.
Lieutenant looks north with his hand raised to his brow. You can walk on water?
Apparently, yes. Like a water strider. Only, I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Alright, I'm just going to push through at this point, so at least the offline recording is good. At least we got through the Phasmid stuff before it got super shitty, but it's probably going to be chunky for the next, like, 15 to 20 minutes. And I apologize. But, anyway. What's that in the reeds?
Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look.
Okay. What now?
What now?
The old man behind you repeats suddenly. He's put his hand into the ash. It's dirty and black.
In some kind of strange, semi-catatonic state.
Our suspect is not looking so good. We need to check on him.
This also means the odds of mouthwashing happening tonight may have lessened. Alright, well, let's look for the goodies first. Found the passport. There we go.
Brother, you've managed to collect all the armor pieces.
Hell yeah.
Too bad it's too late for the big showdown.
I don't think this hole would help you anyway. Look down at your wound.
It would have looked very impressive. Still,
Achievement.
you found it all. Now your mortal coil is completely protected. Few cops are this futuristic.
At least now I'm truly invincible. Alright. Well, I mean, we gotta wear it. I look like a dingus. I think it's with the scarf and jacket over it, but whatever. And the sword. Oh, was the passport interactive? Probably. Okay, that's the Triangong. Bolt action 4.46 caliber Triangong is the poor man's sniper rifle. While not the most reliable of firearms, it is relatively precise due to a very manageable recoil, thus allowing the shooter to take multiple consecutive shots fast. This particular piece is missing a scope, though. Oh yeah, the scope is in the stuff. Common 30mm rifle scope, or sniper scope, attachable to almost any bolt-action 4.46 caliber. This is an older style, non-dotted range-finding reticle. Seaweed is still stuck on the lens, and it suffered water damage from its time in the Phasmid's dowry. I think we could get $150. I'm increasingly convinced it is completely impossible to get the whole shebang on the or yeah, enough money for the street light. Maybe there's a guide somewhere for it, but regardless. Oh wait, the passport.
This passport, issued by the Sovereign Republic of
I
Orania,
wonder if I tried to do this when I got it the last time.
called Katazina Alazie.
Classia's hidden documents. From the empty book.
Maybe we did, okay. Look at the photo.
It's Clausia, with short black hair and glasses. She looks boyish, younger somehow.
What does this do in the Phasmid's nest?
Maybe our man, Mr. Dross, took it from Classia's, or whatever her name was. Hiding place, or...
I think the Phasmid took it.
like a magpie? What a coincidence. Then it would also have collected the other object, which would be highly unusual. I can see how the helmet could wash up on the island. And the scope. Maybe Mr. Dross lost it. But to seek this out would be very unusual behavior for an arthropod.
Oh. It says Katarzyna Lazia.
She said it would be for Anouk Meyer-Smith. Anouk Meyer-Smith.
Katarzyna Lazia was supposed to be her real name. She lied to us.
Yes, somehow she managed to lie to us one more time. In a way, she's still lying to us right now.
What's her real name, then?
I don't know. But it's not Katarzyna Lazia or Glacier or Anouk Meyer-Smith. We didn't even scratch the surface with her, detective.
Yeah, I know there's at least one
Perhaps
role we
it's
didn't
better
do
that
now.
we didn't arrest her. Who knows what hell she'd be raising in my district by now.
Huh. Put the passport away. Alright. Let's bring this guy in. Well, let's save. I'll roll this guy in.
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go.
Something is very wrong with him now.
Sir, how could you not see the phasmid? He stares at the reeds and falls silent.
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets. His gap-toothed mouth shaking, like an addict of some terrible substance.
Let's try snapping.
Light shiver passes
Work
him,
for the pale driver,
followed
eventually.
by nothing. His hands are trembling, and he breathes slowly.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Dross?
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
What's happened to this man?
Old age and shock.
He looks at him and then at you. I think it's the phasmid.
Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. But you think it's something more than that, don't you?
Quite a few things about that health check you did on him make sense now.
You couldn't see it, Kim. It's just the reeds for him.
That could be part of the shock. But you're right, something is off here. Mr. Dross,
He touches the man's shoulder.
No response.
Maybe this is how the phasmid has stayed hidden all these years?
then how did we see it? Oh, you mean, whatever does this, does it over time? Teenagers, kids, drunks, sightings are brief, and hence not credible. But anyone who spends a long time with it.
Yeah, you forget it's there.
Mr. Dross, have you ever seen a stick insect pretending to be the reeds?
The old man stutters.
Doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse.
Before, when I evaluated his state, he seemed strangely animated.
He was energetic and articulate. After all these years alone, with little hygiene or medication, I would expect worse.
Perhaps this animation is induced by something in the phasmid?
It does not seem to be animated now it's left. Honestly, I'm ready to believe anything at this point. Maybe it is psychoactive.
He looks to the sea.
I mean, why not? It's 3 meters tall.
He takes off his glasses and cleans them. When he puts them back on, he's still staring at the sea. I think he's addicted to that thing.
Like a drug?
He has displayed addict behavior, and not just painkillers.
His pupils appear to be dilated. They still are.
Oh, could it be there's something hormonal in his relationship with the phasmid?
You mean pheromonal?
He seemed a little off for a man his age. Randy.
The scope? Knowing of her bruises? His disposition toward Miss Orania? I see what you mean.
It talked to the phasmid. It said it's destroying him.
You should be more careful, detective. Are you sure it wasn't having an effect on you?
Maybe. Anyway, I'm slowly trying to remain unseen. Degradation's a side effect.
A valid hunch. Long-term exposure to something like that could be neurodegenerative. Also, please be careful when approaching unknown species in the future, detective.
He's been here for a long time. He knows how much of it in its company.
He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him. Like he didn't want to leave this place, and the insect maybe.
He looks at his notebook.
I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one hell of a report. Thank God we have the photo.
He shakes his head in disbelief. We found some things in the phasmid's nest, Mr. Dross.
He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should.
We'll show him the scope first.
I lost.
You lost it, Mr. Dross?
Turns his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times. Beige and white stripes.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. With the help of a magpie phasmid.
Lieutenant observes the lens sparkle in your hand.
Sight is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot?
Silence. Not even a sigh. You've gotten all you will out of this poor being.
Alright, tap the helmet.
Nothing. Just dull staring. Not even rage left, wherever he is. The last embers have gone out. The war is over.
If Kuno kicked it into the sea, as he said he did, the ebb would pull it back here. This makes sense. Mr. Dross could have picked it up. Or the phasmid even. If it did, this is incredible.
I don't know why I'd care about the passport. We'll show him anyway.
No reaction. His breathing is slow, and he appears very old all of a sudden. Around 80. This is an old man, at last. No longer a tin soldier, but the broken down remains of a man.
Did you take this passport and other papers from a boy on the coast?
Oh yeah, Kim still thinks he might have. Okay.
He hears us. The spirit?
No reply. He's gone again.
Try something else?
Alright.
Put him back for a moment.
I'm gonna let you rest now, Mr. Dross.
The plastic cape flaps around his face in a gust of wind. His back is slouched, and his mouth open. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal.
Hang tight.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.
The old man stares.
Okay, so we just gotta go back to the boat. I'm gonna go in and kill the stream and just get a second file to staple on for the last bit. I'm so fucking sorry. Alright, picking back up so we can actually finish this fucking thing. I'll do a save as a marker and then... Alright, so I guess we just gotta get back to the boat and be done with that. Figure out how much it did. And I gotta figure out how much... Oh, actually... I don't think there's anywhere else we can get to up here before we go. No.
The skiff is swaying on the waves by the dock.
Alright, let's head back.
Alex, we're done here.
He says, adjusting his glasses, he looks out over the water.
The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you get in. The ride back is uneventful and quiet. But for the sound of conversation on the water, there is someone inland waiting for you. Two men
Oh, that's right, it goes right to the conversation. Okay.
of a nameless village, looking at a small yellow boat as it draws closer. You reach
See this calm, sorry.
climb out of the skiff.
I'm agitated by what happened with the online, yeah, this part we're playing offline because, yeah, this tail end. If you're watching the YouTube VOD, there's a bunch of, connect disconnect bongs, from Windows alerts because, Xfinity sucks and, started throttling me towards the end of the game at like 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Like, what the fuck? That's at least, I figured like late at night it might start fucking with me, but this was super early. It was ridiculous. I'm furious. I'm furious. It does this every few months. That just ruins my shit.
Look what the tide brought him.
Alright. Says the man without sunglasses. Suddenly his expression changes and he tilts his
I
head.
want to call you a teapot, but I'm honestly kind of impressed. No idea where you got all that gear, but there's no doubt in my mind that some bad people are looking for it.
Come on now.
So you look like a fucking idiot.
Oh, it's not untrue.
This is the man with sunglasses from the whirling in rags. But where are his sunglasses?
Wait, you're the man with sunglasses.
That's right. And you're some kind of murder machine.
The armor? No one else seems bothered by it.
Oh, really? They don't seem bothered by it? That's because you're a cop in an exoskeleton.
Yeah, I'm a cop in a goddamn exoskeleton.
Actually, are you? Are you still a cop? There's so much disco going on, it's hard to tell.
Vic, calm down.
Alright. Who are you people?
Hello, I'm Trent Heilerstam. I believe we've met on several occasions.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean Vicomar, and this is your special task force. Or what's left of it.
He says, gesturing towards his companions.
Special Consultant Trent Heidelstam, Patrol Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island, where our investigation led us.
He points to the sea fort.
We might need your help with something later.
Yeah, it's suddenly regaining his
As
confidence.
if he recalled that he's in fact a decorated police lieutenant and not a naughty boy.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
She says warmly, flashing Lieutenant the tiniest of smiles.
Letting the lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you.
What is this about?
Ari, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you come in?
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
Alright. Thank you for not being an armchair, like, body language expert or whatever.
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
What does he have to say for himself? He left you to catch the bullets.
How did you know I was here?
The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went.
After all that Sylvie stuff, he betrays me.
Shit, kid. He didn't betray you. He just told us the direction you went in. Who's Sylvie?
Sylvie's a whore. She rides a cock carousel, and foreigners.
Sober. Whore. Foreigners. Hatred.
And people on the street helped us too.
You're a legend among the drunks, Harry. A legendary local drunk.
You're not the man with sunglasses at all. You're not even blonde.
Guilty as charged. I heard you'd lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to see if it was true.
He exchanges a look with the special consultant.
And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one less person for me and everyone else to rely on.
I don't like being lied to.
I didn't lie to you. No one lies to you. You were so fucked up on booze you couldn't recognize your own partner.
Alright. So Trent Heidelstein turns out to be Special Consultant Trent Heidelstein.
Yes, I'm Trent Heilerstam. I never said I wasn't Trent Heilerstam.
Wait, what was up with the kid then?
Mikhail? Mikhail is my son.
His son? What a joke. Everyone is lying to you.
Oh yeah? Where the fuck is your son now, Special
We
Consultant?
sent him home. Mikhail is with his mother. We share custody.
I told you. He's one drink away from killing someone.
I wouldn't quite say that, but yes, he is displaying aggression not atypical of late-stage alcoholism.
So what are you Special Consulting here?
What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s, like partial psychotraumatic amnesia, group personality theory.
He's here to see if you're insane. He is smart. Let's move on.
You mentioned a task force?
Yeah. Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells?
Refresh my memory. Who else is in this?
Refresh your memory? It's a goddamn major crimes unit. There's you, me, Jude, Tron fucking Idlestown, and Guillaume baby.
He stares at you.
I'm technically just a civilian advisor.
Oh, fuck you. You're part of this shit show.
First, who's Guillaume baby?
Oh, that's an interesting story, actually. Guillaume Bevy is a police reporter who joined our team. He was really good. Then he left because he lost faith in your ability to lead the unit. Other people have left too. Good, smart people. People we won't get back. Only me and this really patient patrol officer are still here. And Tron because I'm forcing him to stay.
Okay, so what does the unit do?
It's a major crimes unit. We clear the desk of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't look like the worst station in town. We are shit tier now, Harry. Because of you.
The 41st isn't...
He trails off, not wishing to finish the sentence. Where have you been all this time? There's a mercenary tribunal.
God damn it, Harry.
He shifts his weight, crosses his arms, and looks you in the eye.
You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything. All we burn. Detect or die.
Why didn't you detect or die then?
Oh, you think it was cool you saying that? Aesthetic somehow? You were crying when we got here. Breaking things. You said we were going into the abyss. None of us wanted to see the abyss. So we fucked off. Like you told us to.
None of this is ringing any bells.
The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trant, this is where you come in. How bad is it?
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors. He talks without slurring. He can drive a boat. He's standing.
We didn't really drive the boat. We held the radio while the boat was being driven.
Great amnesia, episodic and semantic. As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically?
Wait, socioeconomically? You think I'm so poor I lost my memory?
Not when you phrase it like that. But I don't think critical theory... I know everyone thinks this is far-fetched pink academia, but still, I don't think it should be off the table here.
What? He lost his memory because of capitalism?
No, not like that. I'm not talking for Hedefort's school here. But Harry, I asked you, what do you think happened?
But it's something to do with an anomaly in the church, 2mm hole in the world.
Corresponding to the 20cm hole in your brain. Sure. This theory has great symmetry. I see how it folds into itself neatly.
Alright. Take this seriously. I suspect there might be something wrong with Martinez.
This sounds odd, but I was there. The church on the coast was shaking from an audio-spatial anomaly. It may have been anthroponetic, or perhaps...
This is another bit where I'm probably going to heal up in case we get too close to passing out, just because I want to be done.
I've even put it in my report. You should read it. I do not, however, think it has anything to do with him drinking himself to the point of brain damage.
Thank you, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Just to clarify, I do not think his other anthroponetics are a hoax. Paid produces global phenomena. It's proven. However, what has not been proven is total memory loss after drinking too much Komodo Red. Honestly, I think he's just lying to us.
There was also some lager in there.
He has blanked out before.
I have.
Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case. The other when we looked into that mirror.
The two cases.
I like how they tied those back in the ledger, yeah.
The unsolvable case and the next world mural. Those were recent. Those cases were hard on you.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes. Practice. And then he used alcohol to get there, so to speak.
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here.
Given how much drunk detecting helps people finish their jobs, who can say it's a bad thing?
Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape, to borrow a known metaphor. Harry's been pushed flat against it. Total input. Hardwired to the free market. He just needed for its end.
Okay, Trent, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he not be able to work in the major crimes unit? Is he a cretin now? I want to know that.
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective.
Leadership, now.
I'm ready to lead again.
No one even mentioned that. I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the body? Or do we need to get him on a disability pension?
What now?
Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here.
Really?
No. Now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry?
Stolen by Jacob Err.
Jacob Err?
He was tip-top tornado driver.
No, who Jacob Err is. I wanted to give you a chance to stop fucking me. How naive of me. You drove a 45,000 real police vehicle into the ocean. What did I expect? It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
Got my badge right here.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out of your hand.
I guess the +1 is from getting the keys earlier and stuff.
Not today, badge.
Behold, my badge.
And your gun?
Gun's right here.
He has it. And he didn't drop it. You're drunk like a bum, Harry. Put that thing away before you kill someone.
So it doesn't even matter that I found my gun?
You were never supposed to lose it in the first place. Not lost. Is your gun's natural state. You drunk bum.
So what? I've had a little drink.
A little drink? You smell like a corpse. I'm downwind and I can barely breathe. You smell like shit.
I don't think we've had a bath since I last had a drink, so I only did it once or twice though, right?
Because you were too drunk to assess a flight risk.
We've read the reports. Lieutenant Kitsuhagi's. We know.
Claudia, she was some kind of spy from the Occident, specially trained.
Well, if she was specially trained, I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect. The one who shot herself in the head.
Sorry about that audio blurb there. Something open that shouldn't have. Alright.
Or the fact that you're Everclear's little peony now, doing I don't know what for him. That's small-time stuff. That's nothing. That's a humorous anecdote. Compared to the 7 people who were gunned down, the streets are literally red with blood, Harry. It was fucking mass murder.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired and vetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals. He did so at considerable risk to his person. Remember, he was shot. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been.
Yeah, it was a massacre. We got wiped. Where the hell were you?
Don't make this harder for yourself.
He says in a lowered voice.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation.
He brushes a stray strand of hair out of his eye and coughs.
He thinks of apologizing, but decides against it.
You've spent the week with him on this case. What is your take?
On the case?
On Lieutenant Geoffrey Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the lost gun, also losing his badge, that's all true. And he's been drinking on the job.
Who could say it's bad?
The man sighs deeply.
Then there's the superstardom. He likes to, from time to time, allude to being a superstar.
I thought I dialed down on the superstardom after a bit, but I guess it was enough to still be notable.
He says disco about 20 times a day. It's worrying, especially in light of his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a fascist. He spent hours trying to find a way to reverse time with other far-right individuals. And of course, there's the race stuff, which, for a police officer, not good.
That's how you can tell this world's a fantasy.
Others still, he's also an ultra-liberal hustler who is always on the grind, which I guess goes well with some of his racism. I don't know. He is vocal about both beliefs, though. And then...
I do like that they tied the ultra-liberalism to racism, too, though.
Some kind of anti-radiation drug he uses to induce visions. But despite all this, he is a great detective. One of the best I've seen, in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him everything. And he doesn't stop.
So the can opener still works.
He has not once stopped pursuing leads, however far-fetched and tangential. He is tireless, madly driven. Well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which, by the way, was a valiant effort. He really sang his heart out.
Sang his fucking heart out.
Yeah, it was what it was.
He was there, I forgot.
One time, he has tirelessly worked on the case, and he solved it. We have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator, locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a revolutionary brigade who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years.
I feel like it should have been Brigadier in the text, but...
discovered a new species.
A new species?
A colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds. It unfolded from the reeds. I think we may be dealing with the Insulindian phasmid.
He takes out the photo of the phasmid and shows it to the officers across the yard. The wind blows, flapping the glossy rectangle in his hand. You hear gasps beneath the howling of the wind.
As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered.
Boom shakalaka, motherfucker.
Fucking hell is that? Is this somehow connected to the case?
Detective?
Yes, I believe the pheromone it emits may be responsible for the killer's mental degradation.
The old man was not aware of the phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic.
So it is connected.
I must say, this is absolutely extraordinary. I don't even have words for it.
Yes, it really does make it hard to fire the drunk.
His tired eyes follow the photo as the lieutenant puts it away.
This is a very, very sad man who has just seen something that's made him forget his sadness. Now you make your case. Now is the time. Now or never.
The killer, Leonovich Dross. We have a strong motive for him.
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym.
Revolutionary matronym?
The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Krasovich, Lasovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they used matronyms, derived from the mother's name instead. This man's mother was Lily. His Lilian's son, Lilianovich. The custom was overturned after the revolution failed, but not before it made it to Revachol.
So, it is what a soldier of the ICM would be called.
Thank you, Trant. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. You said you have a motive?
Of course, excuse me.
I think it's more history than theory, but okay. Oop. You killed the mercenary in an act of jealousy.
Jealousy? I thought this Lilianovich was an old man. To have been hiding for 50 years. Like 70-something.
A strange psychosexual fixation, aggravated possibly by proximity to the phasmid and its chemicals. He himself gave a political reason, said he had killed an enemy combatant. Also, we have ballistics from the gun, matching the bullet found in the dead mercenary's head, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win.
Alright, hope. It's my masterpiece. They'll teach us in cop school.
Masterpiece? Get over yourself, Harry. I can still smell the booze on the wind.
He rolls his eyes.
God damn it. It is bad. Even you can smell it.
Alright, hope. Previous head of the Departers Union was assassinated by our killer.
This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open. In Martinez, where Everard and Edgar Clare have ears everywhere.
Lieutenant lowers his voice, just a little.
Eyes, too. Your return from the island must not have gone unnoticed.
Understood, of course.
But a case against Everard would be big.
I would prefer not to partake in anything union-related, for political neutrality.
The consultant, too, has lowered his voice. So what do you say? You want to take this hot shit back?
I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the murder.
He shrugs.
So I have to. Jude,
Honestly, anything that ends this trial is okay with me.
The other bits are fun, but like kind of extraneous, and
Potential
I'm
of this is too valuable to let go.
trying to focus on cop business at this point.
okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go.
Wait, I have a few questions before we go about who I am.
The man looks westward, impatiently, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
Who am I?
Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry.
What?
Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but
But before?
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe...
A Kingsman gym teacher?
no. A regular one.
That does explain a lot.
Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the shot put, your inexplicable facial hair.
Collection of faulty sportswear I've
The
amassed.
fact that you don't seem to know what homosexuality is, and your moves on the church floor, which honestly were just jump aerobics.
Also, this guy. Just everything about this guy. And this guy, too. God, even this javelin throwing freak here.
When was this? When was I a gym teacher?
In your 20s or late 20s. You've really let yourself go since then.
You said in Quran? I was a gym teacher there?
Yes, you taught gym in Cool. I believe that's the term. Taught gym at a high school. You were a high school gym teacher.
The smell of sweat and glue. The worn floorboards.
Why'd I join the RCM then?
The regular. You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight. Be more than you are. All that.
You, every morning, walking from Voyager Road to teach gym. She, leaving for the academy with her spring coat on. The air filled with the smell of smoke and raspberries, and incredible hope. An ocean full of hope.
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that. He's an honest-to-God gym teacher.
Why am I like this?
It's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you were drunk.
You really went with it too. Really maximized the damage.
Some chick. Who?
Dora something. Dora England. Yeah, you mentioned her name.
Not Dora Dubois.
So we weren't even married.
No one is married anymore. This is Revachol.
When was this?
God, I don't know. 6 years ago, she was way before my time.
Oh, okay. 6 years isn't that much.
Yeah, you're not doing too good there. It's an old man thing, I think. 2 old years equals 1 normal year. That and Dora
Fair
England
enough.
really tore you a new one. A big one.
Who was she?
Incredibly bangable.
Figures.
Extremely fuckable, Harry. Gorgeous. A gorgeous bourgeois woman. Wayfish. Like a whalekin, basically. I've only seen a picture, but it's obvious you formed a real spiritual connection with how pretty she was. One you never recuperated from.
Oh no.
Look, the sun is about to go down. It's time to go.
I think she taught in the Académie des Arts, east of the
Okay.
river.
I was gonna ask her what she did, but
Hard
I
to
guess they
say
just
which came
jumped to it
first,
anyway.
The middle-class chick or the drink. Egg and the chicken kind of thing. My point is, you need to see a psychiatrist about this shit. Not a psychologist. Several degrees harder. Is there something harder than a psychiatrist? A forensic psychiatrist? Go talk to that.
Alright. Precinct 41. What kind of station is it?
Us. We're the bloody murder station, haven't you heard? With the bad guys. No one likes us.
That's not true. Jamrock is too big for one precinct. You're just understaffed. And everyone respects the 41st. You have Captain Price.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You're being kind. It is an understaffed station and the district is too big, which is why we need to...
He tilts his head northward.
Get back to it. We left Torson and McLean to run the Sea Wing. It's not good.
Torson and McLean?
Mac the Torso Torson and Chester McLean. They're not fit to run a wing. Believe me. Things are shaky as it is.
They are damn iconic, though. Torson and McLean.
Not
Of
now.
course.
Alright. And the Sea Wing is...
God. There are 4 wings, Harry. A, B, C, and D. We're in C. It's made of losers and clock punchers. You and I reconceptualized it as a task force. It was a mistake.
There's also a lot of outside help involved, not only me. Other losers too.
He smiles.
He's anything but a loser. Although he would like to be seen as one. It's cooler that way.
And Price is...
Ptolemy Price? He's the son of the old Price, one of the founders of the RCM.
He's one of the most highly regarded men in the force. You're lucky.
Nepo hire.
Under the curved roof of a former silk factory, shaped like a ladybird with 2 chimneys, Police Captain Ptolemy Price sits behind a heavy wooden desk. Resident medic Nix Gottlieb pours him coffee. It's silent in the captain's office.
That's why the name was kind of familiar, even though we didn't call him in my prior playthrough.
They speak of change, the city, the tension on the streets. They speak of the events of April and the blood on the streets in May.
Alright, did we recently shoot up a church by any chance?
So he remembers that. Yes, there may have been a raid on some churches. It wasn't good press.
Shooting up churches never is. I was out of town, to be clear.
What happened? Why do we need to go there?
Our enemies were hiding in a church, to the best of our information. That's it. I'm not talking about this anymore. Your security clearance is shit tier right now. You have to wait for it to go up.
That's fair.
Means it. The RCM and its enemies will not be discussed on this coast. Your clearance will not go up while you're within earshot of the Union headquarters.
So I work in the Bloody Murder Station?
Okay. It's not the bloody murder station. It's an old converted silk mill with green desk lamps and a coffee corner. A lot of good people work there, hard, every day.
Jamrock is the largest ghetto in Rivershoal. Faubourg, technically, but it's divided into 11 districts. Jamrock only has us.
The press will blow over. Jamrock is lucky to have you, and it's often considered to be the greatest of the districts. You're lucky to have it.
Got the coolest name.
Thank you again, Lieutenant.
The Phasmid. I need to tell Lena about this ASAP.
Who is Lena?
Cryptozoologist. Lives in Jamrock on Tabernacle Road. She told me about this Phasmid.
Tabernacle? It's on the way over. Near where you live on Perdition.
She looks at Vicmar.
Fine. If we're gonna drop you off anyway.
She and her husband were conducting the search for the Phasmid. It's their discovery, in part. They should know as soon as possible. It would do you good to deliver some positive news for a change.
She is going to be over the moon.
Etiquette Saragi, what will you do now?
Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to be good to cover all this. Then I will have a serious talk with my captain.
About what?
Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol.
He pulls up his collar and looks around, the cold spring light reflected in the lenses of his
I
glasses.
don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, investigate.
Le retour.
Wait, you mean the return?
Perhaps. There are people who say the zone of control will not hold up long. They are not on the radio yet, but there are parties out there.
Yes. I hear worries from systems analyst in Vespa and Messina, international risk departments in Pangs. People like that.
Great.
We've been hearing whispers in Jamrock too, ever since fall. I agree that something is happening. People are tense. I hear a fan spinning, fast. Something is about to hit it.
Want to do that at Station 41?
Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of 2 captains with my doom-mongering.
No, I mean investigate. Come work at Precinct 41.
Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if I...
A crooked smile quivers on his lips.
Would fit him. And crazy enough. can take the stress. He doesn't know how to finish the sentence.
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even considered.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the harbor.
Lieutenant turns very serious all of a sudden.
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to. Mountains, even.
She says with a smile.
I do like the sound of that.
He returns her smile. Let's
Good.
end. Took you, then Vikmar.
Fuck it, let's go. Trump brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jamrock.
Under the afternoon sky, the great district hums. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls, and chimney stacks. Fire traps as far as the eye can see. From Main Street to Precinct 41, to Boogie Street, forking into the snow-swept horizon. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue de Saint-Jérôme, a square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. In Old South,
Oh, did we never solve that one?
eyelids, smiles. Spring has come. It's time. Dawson? Yes. McLean? Yes. Heidelstein? No. Lidmere? Yes. Dubois? Of course. Really? Nick Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's quite unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing. Captain Ptolemy Price
Oh, this might be the original assignment, right?
It's
Yeah.
dim in his office, and the curtains are drawn. Harry's our man. He'll pull through, and when he does, he'll side with Revachol. Understood. Gottlieb returns to the list. Minnow? Of course.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back to Jamrock now?
And that's it. That's all she wrote. I'll let it get the credits, so I gotta step away for a second, but then we'll have some final commentary and I'll get the hell out of here. Alright, that's 2 down. Yeah, like I said, I'll be right back. We'll let the credits roll. And then I'll offer final commentary. Alright, so, yeah. As I've said pretty much every session, I think it's hilarious that they harm you every time you say some fascist dumb shit. Honestly, the funniest finale for this would have getting one last death in by, like, yelling about being a fascist at the very end there. But, yeah, glad to at least get that out of the way, too. So, I don't have to scrounge around for those achievements on my own. There's still, I think there's like some centrist achievements I still don't have, but I'll probably do that on my own time. Or maybe I'll consider doing it as a run next year. We'll see. But yeah. I just love how the band renamed themselves Sea Power and dropped the British from it, even though it's still in the credits, because the connotations of being tied to the British at this point are not the best. There are some okay Britons, as with anything, but just like between, there's a reason they call it Turf Island and Totally Normal Island. So yeah. I just noticed that Measurehead's voice actor's name was something Dross. I don't think I noticed that last time. I have no comments about Virgil, Texas. I never got into Chapo, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. But yeah, I don't know. That was the last thing from 2024 to get done, so that's cool. Since I can't really stream tonight, apparently, due to the throttling or whatever, I guess I'll get those Patreon posts done. Or at least get outlines of them done while I wait for this to render, since I gotta do it offline and then upload it twice. Fuck Comcast, man, I'm so pissed. I mean, I'll let my brother know something's up in case maybe restarting everything will help, but it didn't last time either. It just fucked me over for a week or two before things settled out. And now we know it starts as early as 6:30 in the evening, so God knows what that's going to do to my streaming. Imagine what that does to, like, professional streamers who, like, need to do this to get the money to give it to fucking Comcast. Last I checked, throttling's still illegal for the time being as well, so we'll see what happens in, I guess, 2 more weeks. Country's fucked, man. This country's so fucked. I feel like I'd have more to say, but I'm pretty damn tired. I was doing fine midday when I went out to the store, but then it fell apart. Dodged the hangover bullet though, so there's that. Apparently I can still put 4 or 5 away, no problem. I did avoid doing shots last night, though, so that might have helped. I do still need to pick up the soundtrack from this. Another thing is, actually, the other reason I might just play the other achievements out on my own time is because with the streamer safe, allegedly, it's technically, at this point, it's less streamer unsafe option. It cuts out a bunch of the soundtrack, apparently, and I'd like to hear the full deal at some point. I still get copyright bips, at least on YouTube, for every one of these with the streamer thing still turned on, so whatever. Again, future sucks, man. We fucked it. yeah, this I also might as well finish the caffeine since I'm going to be up for a while doing this. There's no way I was going to struggle through another 45 minutes of that with the intermittent connection, so it should still be out like the same day it was going to be uploaded anyway as a VOD, so I'm not as mad about that. I'm, again, just mad about having to peace out in the first place. But the show must go on in some capacity, and you make it work. I was thinking I'd throw on a podcast while this renders, but I realized my podcast player's dead. Well, I mean, I guess you could just slow down the render by finding something on the PC, but like usually I try to minimize what's going on while this is rendering, or while video is rendering, so it takes a little less time. But yeah, like I think I mentioned it before, but the old iPad Mini finally died. It won't take any restoration or reinstall attempts, so everything I had on there is gone. It wasn't much, but there's some games on there that have been long delisted. Both the old mobile Garfield carts. I guess I could track down APKs if I really wanted to, or well, it's not APK on Apple, but whatever. Is it APK on Apple? I don't know, but honestly, the one thing I'm really sad about losing is the iOS Katamari, because I did want to play that. I think we like tested it once, but I never really like played through it. And a couple of the other racers. I never completely unlocked everything in Angry Birds Racing. That was kind of trash anyway. Oh well. That's another thing I'm fucked with, is the collage mode. I think there's some achievements tied to it. Maybe I'll avoid those entirely. I don't know. The desire to full complete versus the desire not to bother with the post-Fallout, the post-Zone Fallout editions. I forgot Larry was involved with this too. That's cool. Well, so much for being vigilant.